Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A dramatic Thursday on the podcast with episodes of the Screen Directors Playhouse, Burt Lancaster starring in an adaptation of Criss Cross, a 1949 film noir motion picture. We'll also follow that up with an episode of the bizarre Quiet Please starring Ernest Chappell and Beezer's Cellar, an episode of Gangbusters Smoke Ring. We'll follow that with an episode of Candy Matson, and that episode goes back also to 1949. And we'll wrap it all up with another adventure Superman. That's straight ahead here on this Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday, 10th day of October, 284th day of the year, 82 days remaining until we get to 2025. The Great Hurricane of 1780 killed 20,000 to 30,000 people in the Caribbean in 1780. In Annapolis, Maryland, on this date in 1845, the Naval School opened with 50 midshipmen students and 7 professors. It would later be called the U.S. Naval Academy, still is today. 1877, Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer given a funeral with full military honors. In 1913, President Wilson triggered the explosion of the Gamboa Dike, thus ending construction on the Panama Canal. In 1935, the first black opera opened in New York City, Porgy and Bess.
Mammy is the first to name you, and she'll tie you to her apron string. Then she'll shame you and she'll blame you till your woman comes to claim you. 'Cause a woman is a sometime thing. Yes, a woman is a sometime thing.
The legendary Paul Robeson singing A Woman is a Sometime Thing from Porgy and Bess, which opened on this date in 1935. Premiering on this date in 1957, Zorro.
Out of the night, when the full moon is bright, comes a horseman known as Zorro. This bold renegade carves a Z with his blade, a Z that stands for Zorro. Zorro, the fox so cunning and free. Zorro, who makes the sign of the Z.
The final network broadcast was July 2nd, 1959. 78 episodes produced, Guy Williams, starring as Zorro. Simon & Garfunkel released the album Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme in 1966. It didn't really go very far until they took a couple of their singles from it, remixed them, and got some real good play out of them. 1971, sold and dismantled and moved to the U.S. The London Bridge reopened in Lake Havasu City, Arizona on this date in 1971.
In which it can be preserved is to sell it in its entirety.
You wouldn't consider selling it piecemeal then? You know, I understand you may have had some offers for lampposts or balustrades.
Yes, we've had several offers from private individuals. Would that mean that the bridge would be dispersed over a wide area and you'd lose its individuality completely?
American entrepreneur Robert P. McCullough purchased the bridge, which was outdated and needed to be replaced. The 1831 structure sinking into the River Thames. Local politician Ivan Lucken thought because of the notoriety of the bridge it could be sold. And of course, as you heard Lucken say there, he wanted to sell it the whole thing, all or nothing. And they got $2.4 million for the bridge. Would be over $16 million today. Was on this date in 1973, Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned after being charged with federal income tax evasion.
God does reign. I thank him for the opportunity of serving you in high office, and I know that he will continue to care for this country in the future as he has done so well in the past. The government at Washington does live. It lives in the pages of our Constitution and in the hearts of our citizens, and there it will always be safe. Thank you, good night, and farewell.
Agnew became the first vice president to resign in disgrace. The same day, he pled no contest to a charge of federal income tax evasion in exchange for the dropping of charges of political corruption. He was subsequently fined $10,000, sentenced to 3 years probation, and disbarred by the Maryland Court of Appeals. Agnew would die of leukemia in 1996. 1978, on this date, President Carter signed a bill into law that authorized the minting of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. 1979, the Pac-Man arcade game was released to the Japanese market by Namco. 2002, the House voted 296 to 133 to give President George W. Bush broad authority to use military force against Iraq. The Senate would follow suit the next day. 2008, Connecticut's Supreme Court ruled that gay couples had the right to marry. And in 2018, Hurricane Michael made landfall in the Florida Panhandle as a Category 5 hurricane. It killed 57 people in the U.S., 45 in Florida, and caused an estimated $25.1 billion in damage. Passing away on this date, Eddie Cantor.
Supposing I gave you the lowdown on the Elaine Barry and John Barrymore wedding. Swell. You know, Elaine Barry didn't come out there to marry John Barrymore. No? Came out there to visit another romantic young actor. And when she found out I was married, she just fell right into John Barrymore's arms. That's all there was to it. Broke her heart, yes.
Eddie Cantor had that great rhythm where he could tell a story and just, make it sell. Eddie Cantor passing away on this date, as did Yul Brynner, Westworld, and The King and I. Also, Orson Welles passing away on this date. Teresa Graves, fine actress. Christopher Reeve, Alex Karras, and country singer Cal Smith, all passing away on this date in history. Now, birthdays on this date of people who have left this mortal coil include composer Giuseppe Verdi, Helen Hayes, wonderful actress, jazz pianist Thelonious Monk, and filmmaker Ed Wood.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
And among those celebrating birthdays today, from E.T. and Patch Adams, Peter Coyote is 83. Actor Ben Vereen is 78. From Game of Thrones, Charles Dance is 78.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king. I'll make sure you understand that when I've won your war for you.
Reminds me of what Adam West said in a, I forget what TV show it was. They were arguing all about who was the best Batman, and he said, listen, nobody had to ask me. They knew I was Batman. I didn't have to introduce myself to anybody. Charles Dance, 78 years old today from Game of Thrones. Singer David Lee Roth is 70 today.
1978.
Running with the Devil, David Lee Roth, 70 years old today. Singer Tanya Tucker, 66.
1972.
Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from days gone by? And did I hear say he was meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky?
Top 10 country hit for Tanya Tucker, who turned 66 today. She was Ariel in The Little Mermaid, or at least the voice thereof. Jodie Benson, 63. From Saved by the Bell and Extra, Mario Lopez is 51. Racer Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 50 today.
if you can pull anything from Pocono, it's turn 3, how the car gets through the center of turn 3 and the exit of that corner is very similar to the center and exits of these corners. Some of the characteristics that the car has and what makes the car work well in turn 3 at Pocono probably would help here. And so you kind of point Greg or your crew chief in that direction and say, I need whatever we could do or whatever we did or hit on in Pocono that might have helped us in turn 3. That's some tools I would probably go to first.
Telly's a racer, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 50 years old today. Singer Maya, who did an all-star with a whole bunch of singers, 45 years old today.
Let me hear your flow, sisters.
Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, flow, sister.
The song originally made famous by Patti LaBelle and LaBelle. The cover version that probably did biggest was the 2001 version by singers Christina Aguilera, rapper Lil' Kim, Pink, and Maya. Maya celebrating her 45th birthday today. And from Friday Night Lights, Amy Teagarden is 35. Those just a few of the people who celebrate birthdays on this 10th day of October. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
We'll head to the movies in just a moment, an episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse production of the 1949 film noir tragedy Criss Cross, starring Burt Lancaster. This adaptation came out the same year the movie was released, October 10th, 1949. That's next on this Thursday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chief hope of our enemies is to divide the United States along racial and religious lines and thereby conquer us. Let's not spread prejudice. A divided America is a weak America. Through our behavior, we encourage the respect of our children and make them better neighbors to all races and religions. Remind them that being good neighbors has helped make our country great and kept her free. Thank you.
Tolerance is the key. Now, we head to the movies, an episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse 75 years ago, October 10th, 1949. Burt Lancaster reprising his starring role in the motion picture Criss Cross.
From Hollywood, the National Broadcasting Company presents... Screen Directors Playhouse, production, Criss Cross, director...
This is Robert Siodmak.
Star...
This is Burt Lancaster.
The Hollywood Screen Directors bring you an experiment in crime. As for the first time on the air, we present the motion picture drama Criss Cross, starring Burt Lancaster in his original role of Steve Thompson.
This was it. There was no turning back now. I tensed behind the wheel of the armored truck. Hop Crane was riding in back with the Bliss Company payroll. $250,000. $250,000 in cash. This was the break that would fix it for Anna and me. Unless someone knew about our plans.
Steve!
Pop Crane stuck his head through the opening behind the driver's seat.
I don't like it, Steve.
What's the matter, Pop?
There should be 3 of us on a trip like this.
Take it easy, Pop.
We've always had 3 men on a run like this before.
But I told you, Bailey couldn't make it.
I guess you're right. I guess I'm just getting too old to be a guard on an armored truck.
Settle down, Pop. You got a long ride ahead of you. It's a 40-minute run to San Rafael. honest, Pop was getting wise. No. Nothing to do but sit here and keep an eye on the road. And think about Anna.
After it's done, it'll just be you and me, Steve. The way it should have been from the start. I'll make you forget all those things that happened to us before.
All those things that happened to us before. 2 years ago, I'd been going steady with Anna. Me, Steve Thompson. And she wanted what I couldn't give her. Money, glamour, excitement. We broke up. I left town. When I came back, I got this job with the armored trucks. She was in my bones. Somehow, before I knew it, there I was. Back in the old place again. The roundup. Our old hangout. And there she was, dancing with some guy out on the floor.
Better forget about Anna, Steve. She's bad medicine.
Well, my old pal, Pete Ramirez, minding my business again as usual,
Plenty of other girls besides Anna, Steve.
That official, Lieutenant? Well, now that you're a detective, Lieutenant, you just enjoy putting your nose in other people's lives.
Nick, Steve, not Lieutenant. Pete. I'm your friend, believe me. She's no good for you. Forget her.
Steve!
Here she comes. Why don't you tell it to her?
Steve! Oh, Steve, how are you?
Hello, Anna. Anna, Pete's got something he wanted to say to you. Haven't you, Pete?
Well, looks like you'd rather find it out for yourself. I'll see you later, Steve.
Get him. Oh, Steve, when'd you get back?
A couple of days ago. I don't know, week.
A week and you never called me up. Come on, sit down.
You're looking good, Anna.
Steve, why didn't you answer my letters?
Well, I guess I just never had anything to say.
Your family, your detective friend, Pete, they wouldn't tell me anything about you.
I figured we were all washed up.
Did you come in here to see me, Steve? Is that why you're here?
I suppose I figured I'd see you. Boy, we sure used to go round and round.
What did we ever have to fight about anyway? Steve, it was crazy. We were in love, weren't we?
Well, no use having a fight with anyone unless you really like them. Wouldn't be much fun, would it?
But then we'd make up, Steve. That was the best part, wasn't it? When we'd make up.
Yeah. We'd make up.
Excuse me, I hate to break this up, but you're sitting in my seat.
Slim.
Anna, you with him?
Steve, this is Slim Dundee.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Slim Dundee. A gangster.
I like Gambler better.
Slim, this is Steve Thompson.
Yeah, I know.
Anna, you running around with him?
What do you mean, running around, Steve? Anna and me are married.
Married? That's what Pete was getting at.
I was going to tell you, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, we're kind of celebrating tonight. Like to join us?
No, thanks. Anna and I just ran into each other, see?
Sure.
We just stopped to say hello, that's all.
I know how it is.
Well, so long, Anna.
Steve, wait.
What?
Oh, I'd like to explain.
Sure. We'll probably run into each other again. Sometime. Why shouldn't we? Mrs. Dundee. "30 minutes more to San Rafael. 30 minutes and then it would be all over. But it should have been all over then. It was finished. Anna and I were through. She had a right to get married, even to a guy like Slim. Only it wasn't finished. Everywhere I went, I'd see her face. Every girl I passed was her. But then one afternoon, a few months later, I really saw her. In Union Station. She was with Slim, hurrying towards the train gate. And then she was lost in the crowd. I was glad she hadn't seen me. Glad she was leaving town. Then, there she was again, coming back out of the passenger tunnel, alone.
The Santa Fe Super Chief is now loading at Gate 4 for Chicago.
Hello, Steve.
Anna,
Will depart on time.
but I just saw you leaving. You got on the train with Slim.
I just saw him off. You mind?
No, I don't mind. Why should I? It's none of my business.
Wait, Steve, I got to talk to you.
Well, go ahead.
No, I can't talk to you here.
Why not?
Vincent will see us together.
Vincent?
One of Slim's men. He's driving me home.
Oh. What's the matter? Afraid he'd get the wrong idea?
That's right, he would.
Slim left Vincent around to keep an eye on you while he was out of town, is that it?
If you want to put it that way. Don't turn there he is. Don't let him see you.
He won't see me. You don't have to worry.
Steve, please, I got to talk to you. Come to my apartment later, please, do you?
Aren't you afraid of what might happen?
Please.
Super Chief now departing on track
4. Quite a place you got here. Piano and all. Slim's been pretty good to you.
Yeah.
And what do you want to see me for? He gives you everything.
Sure. Diamonds.
So that's what you saw in him, huh?
It's better than working for the department store.
I didn't think he was the marrying kind.
Oh, he did. He married me, all right.
Why did you do it?
You tell me why, Diamonds.
Why did you do it?
You.
Me?
You and your family and your lovely copper friend, Pete.
Pete? Well, what did he do?
As if you didn't know. He said I was poison to you. Told me if I didn't stay away from you, he'd frame me and send me to jail.
Well, why did you come to me?
Because I was afraid. Besides, what chance did we have with the kind of money you were making? Because you left and I wrote you and you didn't answer. Because every day you were away, Slim was after me, wanting to give me everything. And I got tired of being a fool. I got fed up and I didn't care.
Anna.
Oh, Steve. Steve, what happened? How did it happen? How did I get all mixed up?
I didn't know it.
I'm scared. Slim and Vincent, the killers, they cut throats. Tell you, Steve, what are we going to do?
I don't know, Anna. But you're not going to go back to Slim. 20 minutes more, and I'd have money enough to take her far away from Slim Dundee. But then it was different. While Slim was out of town, we couldn't stay away from each other. We took crazy chances in being seen together. And that morning, Anna came to my room.
Steve, you gotta hide. Do something quick today.
What happened?
Slim's on his way back. He's looking for you.
Well, how do you know?
He found out about us. He must have. Steve, we were crazy.
When's he coming back?
I don't know, any minute. You gotta hurry.
No, Anna. I'm not leaving you.
Got to. He'll kill you. You don't know him the way I do. You don't know the people he's got around him. He'll kill you the minute he sees you, Steve.
We'll work it out. We'll go away together.
Where can we go? We got no money. Don't you understand? We haven't got a cent. He'll always find us.
Forget about Slim. Pull yourself together for a minute. Now listen to me. If it's money you want, I'll get it. I know a way.
But how?
Never mind. Go up to the house at Palos Verdes.
The old beach house at Palos Verdes? What for?
Stay there. Wait for me. I'll clear it up.
You can't, Steve.
Yes, I know a way. I've got to.
Steve, Slim.
Hello, baby.
Slim, listen. Please, Slim.
You know, Steve, it don't look right. Anna being here in your room. Can't exactly say it looks right now, can you? What do you think, Vincent?
No, Bush. It looks kind of like...
I asked her to come here, Slim. I wanted to reach you. I wanted to talk to you.
Oh, so it was me all the time, huh? So it's not the way it looks.
No, it's not the way it looks.
That's right, Slim. It's just like he said. He wanted to talk to you, and you were out of town, so I said I'd come over.
You see, Vincent? He really wanted to see me.
Yes, Sam. Maybe he thinks you're pretty.
Shut up. Tell me now, Stevie, what kind of business could you and I possibly have together?
A job.
A job? Well, why come to me?
Because you're the only crooks I know.
Oh, now is that polite, Steve? Is it hospitable?
Should I let him have it, Slim?
Hold it. Tell me, Stevie, what kind of a job is this you need crooks?
Where I work.
Where you work?
Armored trucks. I drive a payroll truck.
What are you talking about? You can't hijack an armored truck. It can't be done. You know it can't be done.
It can be done.
How?
If you have an inside man.
Come up to my place tomorrow, Steve. We'll discuss it. You know where my apartment is, don't you, Stevie?
You are listening to the Screen Directors Playhouse production of Criss Cross, starring Burt Lancaster, with Betty Lou Gerson as Anna.
I hunched over the wheel of the armored truck. Pop Crane was in back with the payroll. A $250,000 in cash. But nothing would happen to Pop, they promised. Only 15 minutes more. It was all a matter of timing. Call it luck, fate, whatever you want. But if I hadn't come back to L.A., if I hadn't run into her again that night at the roundup, if I hadn't been at the Union Station that afternoon, Anna and I might never have gotten together again. But we did. And now we were trapped. I went to Slim's apartment to work out the deal.
Steve, this is Finchley.
Who's Finchley?
He's our layout man. It's all a matter of timing on a job like this. Finchley can lay out a timetable that would have worked on the Normandy invasion.
I still think it's a lunatic idea. There hasn't been a successful heist of an armored truck in more than 28 years. What do you have in mind, Steve?
The Bliss Auto payroll.
The San Rafael?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Delightful. How long's the run?
40 minutes.
Let's see. You're on the coast highway at San Rafael. Only one highway available until you pass the bridge. Oh, this will take some doing. I suggest you go out for some sandwiches.
Anna's make some coffee out in the kitchen. I'll pick up some stuff to go with it.
You might as well relax, Steve. Yeah, Steve, this will take quite a bit of doing so far as the...
Coffee ready, Anna?
Steve.
We've only got a second, Anna. They've gone out to pick up some sandwiches.
Steve.
Listen, Anna. Do you understand? You ought to go to the house at Palace Verdes.
I want to cry. I want to cry, Steve, when I think what's happening.
You'll wait at the house for me.
I wish we'd never met.
It's done, settled. It's the only way.
I wish you'd never seen me.
You'll stay there. You'll wait for me. It'll take some time to get away. The police will hold me, ask me questions. But stay there, and don't worry. Shh.
We're back.
Quick, give me the coffee.
Yeah.
Let me take it in. You go out the back door.
Yes, I'm sure it'll work that way.
Well, just in time. Coffee's all ready.
Where's Anna?
Didn't you see her? She just went down for a paper.
No, I didn't see her.
Gentlemen, the plan's fairly complete now. No shooting, of course. We'll use a chemical explosive man.
I told you we got the best.
And a getaway car?
Vincent drives the fastest heap there is.
No. I'd use the slowest vehicle to take the money out. Something nobody would suspect, say, an ice cream wagon.
Smart, huh?
Smart. And you'll need a cover story.
What do you mean, cover story?
For the getaway. You'll need, an oil truck, too. One of those big ones.
What for?
To break down at the proper time, block the bridge.
Jam the truck sideways across the road, huh?
Yeah, cut off pursuit. Slim, after the robbery, you'll be driving up the coast. If they stop you, what's your story?
Taking a trip to Detroit, up the coast by way of San Francisco.
Good. But really go there. Advertise it. Let the cops downtown put it on the teletype.
We'll pass the word around. We'll give a farewell party the night before.
Well, there you have it. All clear?
How about it, Steve? Anything else you'd like to know?
Yeah. Who handles the payoff?
Who do you want? Finchley, Vincent, Walt, pick anyone. How about Anna?
Okay, let it be Anna. Is that all right for you?
I can handle Anna. Okay, Vincent, when you get that ice cream wagon back to town, give the money to Anna.
It's a deal. It's all set.
The way I see it, then there'll be no shooting.
No shooting whatsoever, just like Finchley said.
No matter what. Nothing's going to happen to the old man working with me. Is that understood?
You're the boss, Stevie. You get the truck there. We'll take care of the rest.
The plan was working for Anna and me. Slim threw his farewell party the night before. He even picked a fight with me. The cops couldn't possibly think we were in it together. And now, this was it. The payoff. For 35 minutes, I've been rolling that armored truck up the coast highway. Nothing could stop it now. 5 more minutes and we'd be across the bridge. Another 5 minutes to San Rafael, to Vincent and the ice cream wagon, to the rest of them. Another 5 minutes to go. But then...
Steve, there's a car tailing us.
I looked into my rearview mirror. Huh? Oh, it's just your imagination, Pop.
No, that big black sedan. He swung out as we passed.
Lots of black cars on the road.
Open her up. Let's see if they stay with us.
Oh, all right.
Faster, Steve. They're gaining on us.
It's all she'll do. They were coming like the flying red horse.
They're gonna pass us.
Well, they passed us. Guess they were just in a hurry.
Yeah, I must be getting jittery.
Take it easy, Pop. Only another 4 minutes. Another 4 minutes. Right on schedule. That would be Slim and Walt in that black sedan. And there's the oil truck right ahead. On the nose. Perfect timing. And right outside the gates of the Bliss Auto plant, an ice cream wagon. Vincent.
Hey!
Ice cream!
I turned into the main gate and I pulled up in front of the cashier's office. And there was Slim and Walt, walking towards us as we climbed out of the truck. And then it happened. An explosion. A yellow cloud of smoke rolling over everything, burning our eyes, choking us.
Go back, Steve! In the truck! It's a holdup!
Slim and Walt wearing gas masks now, coming to the smoke and the fumes, popped down on one knee. Slim letting him have it. Then Slim turning his gun towards me, and I knew it was a devil's cross!
It's all right, nurse. Police department. Doctor said I could see him. I'm Lieutenant Pete Ramirez.
Oh, certainly, Lieutenant. Oh, that poor boy. But he's quite a hero. Did you see the evening paper?
Yes.
Look, it says Steve Thompson fights off bandits single-handed. Bandits escape with
Yes,
half
I
the
know.
payroll.
Excuse me, please. I'd like to talk to him alone.
Oh. Hello, Lieutenant. Paying a friendly call?
Not so friendly, Steve. Pop Crane is dead.
Yeah, I know. I tried to save him.
No, you didn't, Steve. You were in with him. You were part of it.
You got it all figured out, huh?
They used you, Steve. They took you. Slim and Anna.
Oh?
You worked for the armored trucks. They needed an inside man. You were it.
Keep talking. You still haven't said anything.
What did she do, Steve? Make you promises? Were you going to run away together? Tell the truth, Steve. Didn't she work you for the prize sucker of all time?
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you something that may interest you. Slim isn't dead. You didn't kill him. He got away.
What are you driving at?
Just this, chump. If she double-crossed you, if she's with Slim now, then you're all right. But if she's really waiting for you somewhere, then he'll get you.
Get out.
He'll send a gunman for you right here in the hospital. And
I said get out. Got nothing on me? I gotta sleep.
Sorry, Steve. But you'll never sleep again.
I gotta sleep. She's waiting for me.
Steve. Wake up, Steve.
I gotta sleep.
Wake up.
Vincent, what are you doing here?
Quiet. You want to wake up the whole hospital?
What do you want?
I come to get you, Steve.
I can't get out of bed. Can't you see I'm all strapped up? I can't move.
I got a wheelchair. You're coming with me.
Let go of me.
Slim wants to see you. Wants to find out where the money is, where Anna is. Come on.
Let me go. You can't take me out of here. Oh.
Now, come on. Let me get you in that wheelchair. I'll give it to you with the other end of this gun. There.
Look, Vincent, don't take me to Slim.
Keep your voice down. We're going into the hall.
What's he paying you? $2,000? 5? 10? Take me where I want to go and I'll give you 50,000. 50 grand, Vincent. Are you listening?
Through this door. I got a car outside.
Come on, Vincent. What are you afraid of? What difference does it make who pays you? Slim's a dead man. The cops are after him.
Put your arm on my shoulder while I hoist you into the car.
$50,000, Vincent. It's a lot of dough, but I got it. You know I got it. Come on, be smart. Take me where I want to go. Palos Verdes, down at the beach. $50,000, Vincent. $50,000.
Get in there.
Steve! Vincent, how'd you get away?
Anna, I knew you'd be here.
Where'd Vincent come from?
Give him 50,000.
For Slim?
For me. Pay him, Anna. Or give it to him. 5 bundles.
But so much.
Hand it over. You pay him and get rid of him.
Oh, here's your money.
Thanks. And don't try nothing funny after I close this door.
Steve, I don't get it. Why did Vincent bring you? How'd you get out of the hospital?
Slim sent him
Slim?
to get me. But I offered him more money. He's got it now. He's satisfied. We're all through with him.
You think we're through? Don't you see? Don't you know what's going to happen? He's on his way back to Slim. He'll tell Slim where I am right this minute.
No, the cops are after him.
I gotta get away. I gotta hurry.
You mean leave me here?
How far can I get with you? You can't move. You wouldn't last a day. Why did you have to come here in the first place? Why? It was all working out fine. The papers said you'd be in the hospital for weeks.
I see. You came here because you didn't expect me to be here. Pete was right. It was you and Slim. All those things you said. You said you loved me.
Love, you gotta watch out for yourself. What do you want me to do? Give myself up, throw all this money away?
I never wanted the money. I just wanted you. After we split up, I used to walk around the streets at night. I used to think about you. I wanted to hold you, to take care of you. What a pity it didn't work out. What a pity. Run, Anna. Run.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Oh.
Sorry about what, Anna?
Oh, no.
Hello, Steve. I figured you'd bribe Vincent to take you to Anna. You always wanted her, didn't you, Steve? Well, now you've got her.
Steve, don't let him kill me, Steve. Take care of me. Help me, Steve.
What a pity, Anna. I can't move.
No, Slim, no!
I won't do you any good, Slim. You can't get away. You can't.
Drop it, Dundee. Drop that gun.
I'm sorry, Steve. I knew she was poison for you.
You tried, Pete. But some guys have to learn it the hard way.
Lancaster will return in just a moment. In the following weeks, you will hear such stars as Joseph Cotton, Barbara Stanwyck, and Cary Grant. Next week, you'll find another adventure in radio drama on Screen Directors Playhouse. The motion picture story, Pitfall, with its original team of director and stars, Andre de Toth and Dick Powell and Jane Wyatt. Now, here again is tonight's star, Burt Lancaster.
Thank you. In Criss Cross, I was fortunate enough to work under a man I consider to be one of the world's finest directors. His name is Robert Siodmak, and he happens to be a very well-traveled fellow. Robert directed pictures in Germany and France before coming to Hollywood, where he said happily that his travels were finally over. Then he directed me in 2 pictures. Well, all I can say is that Robert Siodmak is now directing pictures in Italy. He's in Naples shooting a film called Deported. But we've flown his recorded voice to Hollywood for the program tonight. My director, Robert Siodmak.
Thank you, Burt. I'm so sorry I'm not with you in Hollywood tonight. You see, I'm worried. In Criss Cross, you were supposed to play the part of a rather tough young man. And really, you're such a nice fellow. Were you tough enough, Burt? If I were with you in the studio, I would nag at you and make faces, and then you would be aggravated and you'd act very tough. And everybody would say, you see, Siodmak is a good director, when really I'm just a good aggravator. So don't worry, Burt. Soon I will be back in Hollywood, and I will drive you wild. Good night.
good night to you, Robert Siodmak and Burt Lancaster. Criss Cross was presented through the courtesy of Universal International Studios, now releasing Sword in the Desert, starring Dana Andrews, Marta Torin, and Stephen McNally. Burt Lancaster is the star of The Hawk and the Arrow, a Norma F.R. production, soon to be released by Warner Brothers. George Marshall, who appeared on last week's program, directed the current Hal Wallace release for Paramount, My Friend Irma, starring John Lund and Diana Lynn, with NBC's sensational new comedy team, Martin and Lewis. Included in tonight's cast were Betty Lou Gerson, Stan Waxman, Jeff Corey, Ed Max, Betty Moran, Dan Riss, Norman Field, and Ken Christie. Criss Cross was adapted for radio by Warren Lewis, and original music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Portions of tonight's broadcast were transcribed. Screen Directors Playhouse is produced by Howard Wiley, with dramatic direction by Bill Karn. This is Jimmy Wallington speaking. Listen again next week when we present
Screen Directors Playhouse, production, Pitfall, director, Andre DeToth, stars, Dick Powell, Jane Wyatt.
Tomorrow night, one of Hollywood's top stars, Cornell Wilde, takes the leading role in another exciting drama on Cavalcade of America. Tune in NBC's Tuesday lineup of top entertainment. You'll hear Cornell Wilde in This Little Plot of Ground, the story of a tragic marriage and one of America's most famous writers. Listen tomorrow night for Cavalcade of America, starring Cornell Wilde on NBC.
And 75 years ago, October 10th, 1949, the Screen Directors Playhouse here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, Ernest Chappell. Quiet, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, make tomorrow your D-Day. Get an extra bond for defense. Step into any bank or post office and buy yourself a profitable share in America's future. As an investment, bonds are better than ever. They can help you save safely, conveniently, and profitably. So whether you already buy on the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank, get an extra bond for defense tomorrow.
Willis Cooper, the original father of the program Lights Out. And then he gave that up to do other writing. He was brought back in to do this series, Lights Out, which aired on Mutual and on ABC. This episode goes back 76 years, October 10th, 1948. It's entitled Beezer's Cellar.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
The American Broadcasting Company presents Quiet, Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet, Please for today is called Beezer's Cellar.
I looked at Marlena. Marlena looked at me when we heard this old guy talking about Beezer's Cellar. Get a load of this, Marlena, I said. And then she took up a French fry and ate it very quiet while we listened to the old guy. He was sounding off to another old guy. The other old guy couldn't get a word in edgeways.
So this here Beezer, they always called him six-finger Beezer, see, on account of he had 6 fingers on each hand. He never did build his house. He got the cellar dug, and then he up and hung himself in it. Well, I don't know why rightly, but there was some talk about the cellar being dug into a cursed ground. Well, I want to tell you, there's been mighty odd doings up there, George, up at Beezer's cellar. What? Well, fires and lights at night. And don't you tell me foxfire. I've seen foxfire, and I know it when I see it. And this here ain't foxfire. 60-odd years ago, and moans, and hooting, and hollering all over the place at night. And trees are waving their branches when they ain't no wind. No, sir, that's a real deserted place. You couldn't get me up there with a 10-foot pole. That there place is haunted, sonny. I want another look there. No, sir. Ghosts and spirits and crawling things that hoot and holler. They ain't in my line.
You getting that, Marlena?
Gosh, no. Ain't been up there since I was a kid in short pants. A clique of us went up there one afternoon in the fall, and we thought we seen a skeleton laying down there on the floor of the cellar, and we cut and run. Never stopped till we got to the C&A tracks. Yes, sir, sonny. Thank you for the route there. That there's a place to shun, and by golly, people shun it. Well, it's right out past the cemetery, where you turn off to the Strickfaden Road. But it'd take quite a lot of finding. About 3 miles east, there's a big elm tree that was struck by lightning.
Come on, Marlena, I said. We sort of drifted out of the place. The car was parked up under a big tree by the side of the road. Pete was sitting there with a P-38 pistol he brought back from the war, with his feet on the suitcase with the $82,000. We stopped to count it on a side street in Wilmington on the way down from Chicago. We watched the state cops go on past us down 66. Then we switched the license plates and jogged on after him. Pete wasn't taking any chances. He had the snoot of that P-38 in our faces the minute we walked up.
You want to make some kind of noise or something. I might not let you have it.
Put the gun away from it and move over. Get in, Marlene.
You bring me a sandwich?
Barbecued pork, all right?
I could eat it raw. What's cooking?
Stanley's got an idea.
What now?
You scared of ghosts, Pete?
I ain't scared of anything.
Well, that's good.
Well, what's this about ghosts?
We might run into a couple of them. Where we're going?
An old man with 6 fingers on each hand.
Oh, a cop?
He hanged himself 60 years ago.
What is all this double talk?
Quit hollering and eat your sandwich.
Listen, what are you figuring on?
I found a place to leave the bag with the money for a while, while things cool off.
Leave the bag?
What'd you think I was going to do?
In that cellar?
What cellar?
Stanley, are you crazy?
Listen, how'd you like to let me in on this, huh?
Listen, this is a haunted cellar, see? The old man says nobody ever goes there. They're scared to go there.
So am I.
Oh, can up, Marlena. There ain't anything to be scared of.
Only ghosts.
Well, we can always go riding around the countryside if you want, asking some hick cop to take us. Yeah, it's always the way with you amateurs.
I'm no amateur. I shot the guys, didn't I?
Who told you to shoot? Who told you which ones to shoot?
Well, what are you beefing about? I didn't say anything.
Well, I wished I'd never got into this.
For a nice chunk of $82,000, you wish that.
Well, but do we have to do it this way, Stanley?
You think of a better way?
Where is this place?
2 miles from here.
What are we waiting for?
That's my boy.
Oh, we won't have to stay around there long, will we, Stanley?
Why, listen, baby, you think I'd go there at all if I didn't have a hot suitcase to take care of?
Leave right away.
I will.
We all will. Whether old Six Finger shows up to scare us or not.
Don't, Stanley.
Which way, Stan?
Well, the old fellow said something about a road.
Strickfaden Road.
Well, I'll look now, but the reason I was asking is there's a motorcycle coming down the road back there.
Where?
I was just kind of interested in our next move. Not that I haven't got ideas of my own.
Now, put that gun away.
I was only going to ask him a question.
But Pete didn't have to ask him a question. Marlena stepped out of the car, and she walked right up to the man in the blue suit, and she said, "How do I get to Strickfaden Road, officer?" Now, the officer told her, just as polite as the head waiter. He'd have been awful surprised if he'd known what was pointing at him while he was being so nice to the cute little redhead. What you don't know won't hurt him, I always say. And we relaxed. Well, so we found the road all right. We drove along slow, little old Model A Ford with Indiana license plates. And we were pretty quiet. I don't know what Pete was thinking about in Marlena, but I know what I was thinking about. Trees hanging low over the road. Trees that moved their branches when there wasn't any wind. And lights in the night that wasn't foxfire. Whatever foxfire is. And pretty soon there was a great big old elm tree alongside the road, and it looked as if it had been struck by lightning. So we stopped. Then there wasn't any trees waving their branches or any funny noises. But we found Beezer's cellar. I wish we hadn't. There was the elm tree that was struck by lightning. And there was a fence that we busted down. There was a kind of path. Or it had been a path once. And it was all I could do in the dark to bust my way through the underbrush with a flashlight. And Marlena and Pete waiting in the car ready to go into a smooching act if an inquisitive cop pulled up. Smooching. With a Heine pistol aimed under his arm over the side of the car. It was a lot easier getting the $82,000 than it was crawling through the bushes looking for Beezer's cellar. I pretty near fell into it. It didn't smell very good. There was water in spots in the bottom. And it looked haunted enough. I kind of felt my back hair coming up, but I said, well, it's better than one of these little iron rooms they got down in Stateville. And I went back after Pete and Marlena. We ran the car off the road, hoping nobody would see it. We lugged the suitcase back through the underbrush. I jumped down. Pete and Marlena climbed down after me. Good deal, huh?
Looks haunted, all right.
I don't like this, Stanley.
Well, let's stash the bag and get out of here.
How are you going to do it?
We'll dig a hole, jerk, and bury it.
What with?
Well, didn't you... Oh, Ferd.
Oh, wait a minute, Stanley. I see something over there against the wall.
Flash the light.
I thought I saw it when I climbed down.
A shovel.
Huh. Ain't that convenient?
Maybe the ghosts left it here.
Cut that out.
Scare you, kid?
Well, cut it out.
Yeah, thanks, Marlena. Hold the light, Pete. No, turn it out quick. There's a car coming. Okay.
To make so much noise?
You want to dig? I'll hold the light.
Wait.
What's the matter?
Shut up. I thought I heard somebody.
Go on, dig.
Pick up the bricks.
Okay.
Let me hold the light and you can both dig. We'll get out of here quicker.
Okay. Boom.
Don't do that, Stanley.
Nobody gonna hurt you, kid.
No, but...
Here, come back with that light.
Come on, let's stop kidding around.
I'm going to sit down.
You'll get all wet.
No, there's an old busted chair here.
Oh, for the love of...
All right, all right. There.
Yeah, now let's go. Now what's the matter?
Stanley, you didn't sit in this chair, did you?
You kidding?
Pete?
What's the matter?
Somebody's been sitting in it. The seat's still warm.
And she dropped the flashlight, and it rolled down into the hole we'd been digging. The light went bouncing down and down and down and down. Hundreds of feet we could watch it, twisting and turning and lighting up the sides of a deep, smooth shaft that seemed to have no bottom at all. And there we were in the dark down in Beezer's cellar, the darkness pushing down on us. There was a sound somewhere, way far off, that seemed to come up to us from the bottomless pit we had opened. And I swore. I lit a match. Pete and Marlena were leaning over the edge of the hole. Marlena jumped back and she started screaming. And she wouldn't stop till I slapped her face a couple of times. I said, "Cut it out. Do you want all the cops in the state to come running?" She grabbed me by the arm. She was yammering like a baby.
I saw it. It was looking right at me. I saw its eyes.
She passed out cold. Only the quick grab that Pete made kept her from falling right down the hole. Well, Pete and I slapped some of the dirty water in her face. Pretty soon she sat up. She started to cry. And it started to rain. "Look," Pete said.
Look, I don't go for this, Stanley.
Scared of ghosts.
Oh, nuts. There's no ghost, but I think we can find a better place to bury our dough than Mr. Beezer's cellar.
Let's get out of here, please. Let's get out of here.
Cut it out, Marlene.
No, let's get out of here. I tell you, I know.
You saw a reflection of the match down this old well.
Well, sure, that's what it is. It's a well. Some of these old houses had a well right in the cellar. I remember it from when I was a kid. And we busted into the well.
I saw eyes looking at me.
Cut it out. You didn't either.
We'd have been in a swell fix if we dropped a suitcase down the well.
Yeah, I'll say we would. Yeah, let's dig another hole. Shut up, Marlena.
Let's get out of this. I'm getting soaked.
Yes, let's get out of here, Stanley.
Go on, you two, if you want. I'm going to get this suitcase planted.
Come on, Pete.
Yeah. Hurry up, Stanley.
I'll hurry.
Wish you hadn't dropped that light.
Pete, I'm scared.
All right. Cut it out.
Hurry.
Don't make so much noise.
I'll boost you up first.
I cannot. Get up here, Pete. This isn't a place.
Wait, I'll light a match. Oh, we're on the other side, I guess.
What's the matter?
I can't find the place where we climbed down.
Over this way.
This side.
Oh, that way. Pete!
Yeah?
What's the matter?
Wait. Say, you know something, Stanley?
Huh? Know what?
Something's happened.
What are you whispering about?
Listen, Stanley, I've been all around the walls of this place, and that busted place in the walls where we came down ain't there anymore.
What are you?
I'm telling you, Stanley. Light a match and look for yourself.
And I struck a match. And I shielded it carefully in my hands. And I looked around the walls of Beezer's cellar in the drizzling rain. And you know what? There wasn't any way out of that place that I could see. The walls, all four of them, was as smooth as glass. And from way, way down deep in the earth, I could just see a little bitty gleam from that flashlight. I thought to myself, I see what Marlena meant. It does look like eyes now, don't it? Down at the bottom of a musty old cellar in the middle of the night, and a hole in the floor that goes down, I haven't got any idea how far. And rain, and a hysterical woman, and a suitcase with $82,000. And no way to get out of the place. Great, huh? Well, you can explain anything, can't you? A hole in the floor. Sure, that was a well. The eyes she thought she saw. Sure, that was a flashlight reflecting on the water down there. And the way we couldn't get out. Well, maybe the wall wasn't as busted down as I thought it was when we got into the place. Maybe we didn't notice how smooth the walls was.
Yeah, sure. But how are you going to explain that chair seat being warm when Marlene sat down on it?
right, Pete?
I didn't want to come here in the first place. That old guy scared the life out of
There's
me.
no such thing as ghosts.
You pick a swell time to make a statement like that, boy.
Well, there ain't.
Maybe there is no ghost. But there are other things.
Like what?
I don't know. Like things that come up out of the ground.
Oh, cut it out.
Give me a cigarette, Pete.
You're going to sit here all night in the rain?
What'll I do? Fly out of here or something? Give me a match.
Wait, I'll spit for you. Here.
Let's get out of here.
Wait till morning. We'll find a way out then.
I wonder if we could reach the top of the wall if we stood on that chair.
I don't know.
You wouldn't get me to touch that chair for $1 million. It was warm.
Ah, that don't signify nothing.
That's to me.
What about the suitcase?
What?
What'd you do with it?
I'm sitting on it.
Is it warm?
Hot as a pistol.
Oh, cut it out.
Cut it out.
Well, I'm scared.
Look, babe, I don't like this any too well either.
Just sit close to me, please. I'm cold.
I'll move over this way.
Well, don't worry, kids. In another couple of months, we'll come back and pick up our little prize package here. We'll be warm for life. All of us.
If we ever get out of here.
Ah, come on.
What was that?
You do that, Pete?
No. What was it?
I don't know.
Stanley.
Oh, wait a minute, Stanley. I think I know what it was.
What?
Wait. Stan?
What?
Come here. Careful now.
In the damp darkness, I moved toward the sound of Pete's voice. He stuck my hand and put it on the edge of the hole I dug.
See?
What?
A couple of bricks fell in the hole.
Oh. Marlena, get back from the edge.
What is this?
Move back, honey.
Oh, Stanley.
Light a match, Stanley.
You got him. You like one.
All right, stand back a little.
And in the light from the match, before it fizzled out in the rain, I saw what had made the sound. 2 or 3 bricks had got loosened at the edge of the hole I dug. Had fallen in. And as I looked before the match went out, 2 more sagged and fell downward into that bottomless pit. Get back, Marlena, I yelled. Pete lit another match.
Look out!
The crack yawned open, and with a crash, a half a dozen more bricks tumbled into the hole. Below us, I could see the feeble glow of the flashlight way down there. It seemed to me the things crawled far, far below us in that horrible pit. Pete and I dragged Marlena away to the wall. There was a rumble, and the mouth of the pit grew bigger. It seemed that the glow from down there was growing stronger. We sat there, huddled against the slippery walls, frozen cold with terror. Another section of the floor fell in.
The whole floor's going. Come on, we gotta get out.
Marlena sobbing and Pete and I scrambling at the slippery walls. There wasn't a chance. Then the rumbling stopped for a second. We flattened ourselves against the bricks. In the light that came up from down there, I could see Pete's staring eyes and the tears of fright shining on Marlena's cheeks. I said, we gotta get out of here.
Help me up the wall, Stanley.
Ain't no use to try, boys. You can't get out.
And I looked up. And there, sitting comfortably on the edge of the cellar wall, grinning at us in the light that flowed up from the pit in the cellar floor, was the old man Marlena and I had heard at the roadside restaurant. The old man had told a lurid story about Beezer's cellar.
Ain't no use to try. You're stuck.
Oh, help.
Don't hoot and holler, lady.
Look, old man, give us a hand, will you?
I heard tell of a fella long time ago that got down into this here cellar. Just like you done.
Well, give us a hand. The floor's going.
I know. The floor fell in with him, too.
Well, help us.
He killed a feller down towards Manitou. And he come and hid here in the cellar.
Give us a hand out of here.
And the same thing happened to him. Never did find his body. More floor falling in, hey?
Come on, give us a hand up out of here. Help us.
Know what's down there? Fire and destruction.
Listen, old man.
Tut, boy. You know you hadn't ought to shot that poor feller at the bank up there in Chicago. Murder's bad.
Listen, we got a lot of money down here with us.
I know it. You're criminals.
We'll split it with you.
Don't want no part of stolen money, bub. Ain't much more left, is there? They'll never find your body.
Now listen, you old
Now
bum.
don't call names,
Hey,
bub.
put that pistol down.
That won't do you no good, son. Too bad.
Listen, mister, for the... look, there's a woman down here.
Yeah. Criminal? Like you two boys.
But look. Look out, Marlene.
Stanley! There's any place left to stand!
Here, Marlene.
Kind of figured you was listening to me back there at Saltweather's stand. Kind of figured you'd come a-kiting out here to the cellar.
Mister, listen to reason. Please just reach down and give us a hand.
Kind of figured I'd come along and watch and see what'd happen to you. Mighty interesting.
Oh, if I could get my hands on you.
Can't. Not unless I let you.
You can't do this to us. We are people. We are. Help. Please, mister, I beg you.
No, lady. No use of hollering. The wages of sin is death, I always say. You robbed and you murdered, so you got to be punished, see?
You can't sit there and watch us die.
Another hunk of the floor's going. You better move over to one side.
I'm gonna get that old...
Put down your pistol, sonny.
Now get him.
I told you tain't no use.
Please, don't.
Get him. Get him.
Listen, Sheriff,
I ain't no sheriff. I'm just a feller interested in seeing justice done. I recognized you back there at the restaurant, and I thought to myself, well, I'll just toll these people here over to the cellar, and we leave things take their course.
look out, Marlena. Haven't you any pity, man?
Not much. Not much for thieves and murderers.
He's crazy, Stanley. There's an insane asylum across the river there someplace. He's escaped from there.
No, son. I ain't insane. Listen. What would you give to get out of there?
You can have half the money.
Ain't much time for bargaining.
Give it all to him, Stanley.
That's better. You ought to be willing to give up all the money to save your life.
Oh, yes.
If I was in a fix like that, I'd give anything I got.
Well, we won't.
Yes, we will.
Floor getting hot down there? Mighty interesting. Well?
All right, you can have all the money. Help us out.
Oh, no, you don't, Stanley.
Hand it up.
Stanley, how do we know he'll help us? Wait, don't give it to him.
Take it.
Oh, no.
Pete leaped at the suitcase I was handing up to the old man. His fingers just touched the edge of the bag when another section of floor gave way right under him. He fell down and down and down and down, twisting and turning into the fire that kept coming higher and higher up the shaft, reaching for us. And the old man took the bag and set it down on the edge of the cellar.
See? That might have been you, fella. Or you, lady.
Help us out of here.
It's good riddance. He was the one that shot the fellas at the bank up in Chicago. Good riddance, I always say.
Are you going to help?
Sure. Right in the nick of time. Here. Grab a hold of my hand, lady.
I'm afraid.
You come, lady. Bust her, mister. Oh. There you are. Just as right as rain. All right. Now, you.
And as the strong arms of the old man lifted me up over the lip of the cellar wall, the last section of the floor below us fell away into the fire. And just as if a play or something was over, the flames died down. First they were yellow, then purple, and then they just went out. Marlena grabbed my arm.
What Where did he go, Stanley? Where did he go?
I don't... Hey, old man! Hey!
Stanley.
Come on, let's get out of here. Oh. What's this? Oh. Marlena.
What?
He didn't take the money. It's right here. And so I picked up the suitcase, and Marlena and I hacked our way through all that underbrush back to the road. We were just opening the door to the car to get in, go away from Beezer's cellar, when there was sawed-off shotguns in our faces, and lights. I could see the state cop's badge behind the light. He laughed and said, "Come on, kids, we're going for a ride." And it's very comfortable here in the little iron room at Stateville. And I hear that Marlena's all right down there at the women's prison at Dwight. She can stay there for 20 years. Me? Well, I'm going to move. They got a tight little room here for people to get mixed up in murders. Little room you can walk into, but you can't walk out. All modern conveniences. Electricity and everything. Well, the old fellow said the wages of sin is death. And I guess I'd rather be here than in Beezer's cellar. I really am pretty grateful to the little old fella. The little old fella with the 6 fingers on the hand that pulled me out.
Today's Quiet Please story is Beezer's Cellar. It was written and directed by Willis Cooper, and the man who spoke to you was Ernest Chappell.
And Lotta Stavisky played Marlena. Warren Stevens was Pete, and the 6-fingered old man was Charles Eggleston. As usual, music for Quiet Please is played by Albert Berman. Now for a word about next week, Willis Cooper.
Thank you for listening to Quiet Please. Next week I have a story for you called And Jeannie Dreams of Me.
And so until next week at the same time, I am quietly yours, Ernest Chappell.
Now a listening reminder. Today, David Harding Counter Spy is dedicated to Employ the Physically Handicapped Week. Be sure to tune in. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Spooky stuff. October 10th, 1948. Quiet Please, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, Gangbusters.
Keep your guard up. That's the key slogan of the 1950 National Guard recruiting drive, and it's a slogan as timely as today's headlines. More than ever before, America stands prepared, and the National Guard must recruit approximately 220,000 men as soon as possible. By joining the National Guard, young men will have the advantage of choosing their own unit and preparing themselves for promotion by being in a job for which they are best qualified. Investigate the National Guard now. Help America to keep up its guard.
And we continue now with more Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of Gangbusters going back 71 years to October 10th, 1953, The Smoke Ring.
And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, CBS Radio presents Gangbusters! Gangbusters, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories, has asked Mr. Louis J. Whiteman, former Special Assistant to the Attorney General, Criminal Division, United States Department of Justice, to narrate tonight's case. By transcription, Mr. Whiteman.
Thank you, and good evening, Gangbusters listeners.
Suppose we open tonight's case not too many months ago in the city of Washington, D.C., in a small tailor shop on a side street near the Union Station. A young man was pressing the trousers of a customer who waited behind a partition.
How about it, kid? Yeah, just a second, Wes. I'll have the pants ready. Here you are, Wes. Here's your pants.
Yeah, you're fast, kid.
Yeah? Thanks.
All right, now, make it snappy with the jacket, will you? I got a big operation on.
Wes.
Yeah, kid?
How about taking me along on one of those big operations? I could be a lot of help, you know.
You stick to your job here, you're better off. How about that coat,
Yeah, right away.
And don't put any creases in the sleeves.
No creases in the sleeves, Wes.
I'm going to use the phone.
Help yourself, Wes.
Hello, baby. Wes.
Oh, what time will you be back me, Wes?
Look, baby, we'll have to make it some other night.
Some other night? Wes, I went out and bought a new dress and everything.
Well, I can't see you tonight. I got a business deal on.
Wes.
Oh, the dress will keep. You'll get to wear it.
How about tomorrow night?
I don't know about tomorrow night. I'll call you.
Wes, honey.
I said I'll call you. So long, baby.
How you doing on that coat? Yeah, in a second, Wes. Boy, I never seen anybody handle women like that and have them come back for more.
It's all in the approach, kid. You treat them nice, they got you. You keep them hanging, they're worried. Technique.
You ought to take me in, Wes. Show me the ropes. I'd be a valuable guy. You know I done time, Wes.
Where'd you do time?
I was at the district jail.
Oh, that junior college?
Well, can I help it where they sent me? I'm sick of pressing pants. How about it, Wes? I could do you some good.
I'll tell you what, kid. Hey, what's your name anyway?
Duke. They call me Duke.
Duke, yeah? All right, Duke. When the time comes, I'll keep you in mind. You'll hear from me.
Well, where is he? You told him 7 o'clock.
He'll be here, Eddie. Take it easy.
I don't like standing on street corners waiting, Vic. Wes should know when you say 7 o'clock, that means 7 o'clock.
We got plenty of time, Eddie.
Wes should know.
Yeah, maybe you should. Hey, look, Eddie.
Yeah?
You know, Wes is a little too easygoing for our type of operation. I mean, everything with him is dames, clothes. You know, maybe it'd be a good idea to check him out of the deal.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot better with... Hey. But we need 3 guys, at least 3 guys in this caper tonight. 2 to handle the driver, 1 to drive the truck to the drop.
Yeah, I know we do, Eddie. We'll let Wes help us. I mean...
If we're going to cut him out, we ought to cut him out now. After all, he takes a pretty big slice.
Oh, he'll get cut out of the slice, too.
How can we manage that if he knows we got the stuff, if he helped us get it?
Use your head, Eddie. We'll knock the truck over. You drive it to the drop. Wes and me, we'll handle the driver. Now, what do we tell Wes? The truck wasn't loaded with cigarettes. It was running late. What kind of comeback has he got?
You want to see the truck?
Sure, you want to see the truck. We'll take him out to the drop in the morning, show it to him. It'll be empty. We'll work all night, unloading, moving the cigarettes. Okay?
Sure, Vic. Why not? What's Wes mean to me? Always late and running around.
Okay, hold it. Here he comes.
Hiya, boys. You all set?
It's the idea, Wes. Can't you ever make a meeting on time?
What are you complaining about? I got here, didn't I? All right, let's go, Vic. What are we waiting for? It's a long ride to Baltimore.
Yeah, let's go. I got the car parked around the corner.
All right. You sure the truck's going to be there like you said, Vic? I hate to run up to Baltimore in a wild goose chase.
Oh, it'll be there. The driver stops at that diner every night. Goes for a waitress.
Well, I just want to be sure. I passed up something pretty sweet myself tonight. I don't want it to turn out to be a dud altogether.
Vic says there'll be some load on that truck. We ought to do great.
I'll wait till I see it.
Around the corner.
Another cup of coffee, big boy?
Nah, honey, I can't. I gotta drag that truck into Wilmington.
Oh, that's too bad.
You ever get into Wilmington?
On occasion. If it's an occasion.
Well, do you have a night off?
Sure. Thursdays.
Well, how do you like that? Thursday's my night off, too. Suppose we get together, huh?
Well, if I got to.
Hey, Craig, how about a little service down this way?
All right, I'll be there.
I'll stop in tomorrow night and we'll talk about it, okay, honey?
Okay.
All right. What's my bill, huh?
Oh, coffee and pie at 35 cents.
Hey, honey, I'll see you. See you tomorrow night, eh?
All right, buddy. I'll take those keys.
Hey, now, listen.
Listen to yourself, buddy. This is a heist. We want that truck.
Give him the keys.
Yeah.
Okay, pal. Here you are. Hop in the truck. Get going.
But I'll be seeing you.
Take care of that load. Come on, buddy.
Where are you taking me?
You'll see. Get going. There's the car. He said get going.
All right.
That's better. All right, pull up the road here.
Yep.
Hey, now, listen, guys.
Be quiet. You'll get hurt worse. Okay, come on. Come on, get out of here. Go on, get out there.
Yeah, but listen.
Go on. Walk in the brush.
Hey, guys.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, this is far enough.
Hey, fellas.
Give it on.
Oh, don't shoot me.
Who's going to shoot you? This is going to be worse than shoot. Oh, stop playing with him. Lay him out. Yeah.
No.
That ought to keep him quiet. Okay, let's get moving. Vic, how much do you think we can net out of that load? That depends on how many cases there is. Now, get in. Yeah, okay. All right, move out of here. You sure that Eddie jerk knows the way to the drop? He's only seen it once, you know. I hope he got the truck there. Ah, he got it there. So nervous, maybe he drove it over a bridge. Ah, he got it there, I told you. Maybe we ought to go check up on him. Listen, the safest and best thing we can do is get back to Washington. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, Eddie's a good wheelman. About all I can say for him. Hey, Wes. Yeah? And what do you say we cut Eddie out of this deal? Altogether? Altogether. I'd cut the score 2 ways instead of 3, wouldn't it? It sure would. You think you can manage it? With Eddie, I mean? Sure, I can manage it. How? Well, I'll tell him the truck was loaded with dog food instead of cigarettes. Suppose he looks inside the back after he gets it to the drop. I told him not to break the seals. He won't. Okay, Vic. You got a deal. Good. Glad to catch you in. All right. Look, you don't mind if I make some time going back, do you? It's early yet. Maybe I can still see this tomato. Yeah, okay. Make some time, Wes. Just don't get us stopped by any law.
Well, that's how this hijacking of a truck carrying goods in interstate commerce was staged. And as a direct result of the robbery, there was considerable activity in the Baltimore field office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as agents were summoned from their homes and from other assignments.
Hello, Mac. What do we got?
Maryland State Police just called, Gordon. The driver of a Richmond-Wilmington truck reported he was hijacked.
Oh, where?
Outside of Baltimore. 3 guys stuck guns on him as he was coming out of a diner. 2 of them took him out in the woods and slugged him. The third drove off in a truck.
What was in the truck?
Cigarettes.
Well, they know their trucks.
Invoiced at about $30,000, yeah. Here's the name of the driver and the outfit he works with. He's being treated for a cut head, and they've got him on the way to the state police barracks. As soon as he gets there, take a run out and talk to him.
Yeah, sure. I'll take out a few pictures with me. Maybe one will click with the driver.
Meantime, see if you can get somebody in that trucking outfit on the phone. Find out who shipped the goods and who they were consigned to.
Okay. Did you put out a description on the truck?
I did. Those boys look like operators. They probably got it stuck away by now in some drop. I wouldn't doubt if the fences are bidding on the merchandise already.
Eddie, come here. Hello, Wes.
How you been?
Fine.
Well, what are you doing here? I thought all your babes were in Washington.
Oh, I don't know, Eddie. Thought maybe I'd run into somebody interesting.
Well, I got a date, Wes.
What's your hurry? I want to talk to you. Sit down.
I got this date, Wes.
All right, let her wait. How's Vic?
Vic?
Yeah.
Look, Wes, I didn't have nothing to do with it. It was all Vic's idea, honest.
What was all Vic's idea?
Cutting you out of your end. I was against it, honest I was. I didn't want anything to do with it.
How do you like that?
Believe me, Wes, I was really against it. He forced me into it, Vic did.
Okay. Come on over here out of the crowd.
Now, listen, Wes.
Come on, will you?
Yeah, but I didn't mean no harm, Wes. You know I didn't.
I know you didn't. Sit down.
Listen, it was all Vic's idea.
I know it was.
Oh, good. Now, I'm glad you realized it.
Because he gave me the same proposition, to cut you out.
He did?
Yeah, and I fell for it.
No kidding.
I knew I should have smelled something. How long has it been since you've seen him?
Not since the job. We stayed up all night taking the goods off the truck. And he said, lay low, he'd have a story for you.
Sure, and he told me he'd have a story for you. He'd bring around my dough as soon as he got rid of it.
What do you think it all means, Wes?
Where's your head? It means he's cutting us both out and keeping it all himself.
And he knows we'd get wise sooner or later.
So who couldn't skip town with all that dough and be comfortable?
And he's gone?
Either gone or fixing to leave. What do you say we go find out?
Oh, I don't know, Wes. Maybe he was just joking, the two of us.
These things you don't joke about.
What are you going to say to him?
There ain't going to be much talking, Eddie.
You mean...
Don't you think he's got it coming?
Yeah, but... Listen, Wes. What's the use us getting in any deeper?
Listen to me. I'm going to kill him, Eddie, and you're going to help me.
Look, let's just talk with him, Wes. Maybe we can put him right.
He'll be put right. Don't you worry about that.
He left town already anyway.
Come on, we'll find out whether he has.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
You see, I told you, Blue Town, Wes.
Knock again. Knock again, will you, Eddie?
Yeah. Ah, come on. It's no use. Let's get out of here, will ya?
Hello, Vic.
Oh, hi, boys. Yeah, what's on your mind?
Hiya, Vic.
We want to talk to you, Vic.
How about what?
Invite us in. We'll tell you about what.
Yeah, sure. Come on in.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
What are you packing suitcases, Vic? Where are you going, on a vacation?
Business trip to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead, sit down in the living room. I'll fix you a drink.
Sure. We don't need no drink, Vic. This is what we want to talk about.
Hey.
Wes. Go on, drop. All right, now let's find that dough.
Dough?
Yeah, it's ours, ain't it?
Listen, we should have looked for the dough first.
Get it now.
Come on, let's get out of here. The whole building must have heard them shots.
All right, go ahead. It probably ain't in the house anyway. Take your time.
Yeah. It's all clear.
All right. As soon as we get out of here, get lost. Get yourself a story and stick to it.
On in there, Eddie. All right, don't shove. Take it easy. I'm gone.
Here he is, Mac. Sit down, Eddie.
Uncomfortable standing.
Sit down.
Okay.
All right, Eddie. We know you're a good friend of Vic's.
That may be so, but I didn't push him. I was dancing at the time in a dance hall. I got a dozen witnesses.
It's not our case whether you kill him or not, Eddie. The detectives are on their way over to talk to you about that. But before they do, we want to know all about those truck hijackings.
Listen, if I give you an inch, you'll want a mile. I don't know anything about anybody hijacking trucks. I don't know anything about anybody killing Vic. I got a dozen witnesses.
He's got a dozen witnesses, all right, Mac.
Just my own information. Who did kill Vic?
How should I know? I was dancing.
Who are his friends?
I didn't know he had any friends.
How about you?
Oh, except me.
And you've got no idea who put 4 bullets into him?
I told you I was dancing.
And you've got a dozen witnesses?
At least a dozen.
All right. Take them upstairs. Let those city detectives have them when they get here.
No creases in them sleeves, kid.
Yeah, Wes, no creases.
Hello?
Hi, baby.
Wes, where have you been?
Oh, busy.
Am I going to see you tonight?
Sure, why not? I'll be around.
Well, don't stand me up. Hey, did you hear what?
What?
Your friend Eddie got picked up.
He did?
Yeah, by the FBI.
How do you know? I didn't see anything in the papers.
Well, papers have to have everything. He was picked up. He was with Lois when a couple of them nailed him.
All right, now listen to me. I can't see you tonight. I'm going to be busy.
Oh, where?
Then I'm going to leave town. Now, you'll hear from me. Do you understand?
Yeah, Wes, but...
But nothing. You'll hear from me. So long.
Why, Wes, you sure do handle it.
Listen, kid, you wanted me to take you along on something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're coming along.
Something big, Wes?
Big enough. I need some dough to lamb. That jerk Eddie's probably screaming his head off right now.
About what, Wes?
About nothing. You know how to pick up a car?
Sure, I can get a car.
All right, get one. Be by for me about 9 o'clock.
Where, at your house?
No, not at my house. You know where Huckabucks is?
Yeah, I know, Wes.
All right, pick me up in front of there and be ready for a little action. Now go on. Finish up my coat. Go on, kid. Get in the store.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open. Watch in the back of the counter.
Yes, gentlemen, can I help you?
Yeah, you can help us. Pound of bologna and all your dough. Now get 'em up.
Get 'em up.
Oh, please, don't shoot me, please.
I won't shoot you if you behave. Go on, kid. Get behind her and get the dough.
Yeah, get the dough. Hey, it's loaded. There must be $100.
Just get it all.
Oh, please, just take the money and get out.
Will you
please.
shut up?
Oh, please.
All right, see if this don't shut you up. Next time they'll be aimed at you, not the wall.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what'd you want to do that for?
Just get the dough.
I got it. Let's go.
All right, now you stand here, sister. Don't move till you count to 500. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's go.
6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, kid, get to the car.
I think we did okay, Wes.
We'll see when we count it. Go on, get in.
There must be plenty.
Get this crate moving.
Yeah. Well, did I do okay?
Yeah, kid, you were fine.
How about it? Can we work together? Partners?
Maybe, kid. When I get back to town. A little heat on right now. Maybe when things cool off. Hey, you did all right picking out the car, too. It's perfect for the job.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it.
Where'd you get it? With keys and everything?
I rented it.
You what?
I rented it.
I told you to swipe a car.
You didn't say that. You said get one. You don't think anything's wrong. You don't think anybody got the license.
But you didn't give your right name.
Well, shouldn't I have?
Oh, you dumb little... No, it's all right. Nobody saw the license.
Good. I thought for a minute I'd done something wrong.
Ah, you're okay, kid. Just drive a couple of blocks and let me out at Union Station. I got a train to make.
Don't you want to split the money?
Yeah, I'll split the money. Give it here. I'll cut it up while you drive.
Yeah, well, it's in my pocket. Take it.
Special Agent McKay.
Hello, Mac. Gordon. The Detective Bureau just called.
Yeah?
A couple of holdup men shot up a store last night. They say the bullets they took out of the wall match up with those that killed Vic. They came from the same gun.
Have they got any information on the stick-up men?
Yeah, a license number. A rented car. It was rented in Arlington, Virginia.
Have they checked with the car agency yet?
They're doing it now.
All right, Gordon. You get with them. If it leads any place, let me know.
Come on in, fellas. I'll be right with you.
You Duke Porter?
Yeah, I'm Duke Porter. What? Oh, cops.
We're special agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah?
You got yourself some trouble again, huh, Duke?
What do you mean, trouble?
Holding up a delicatessen in Baltimore.
Oh.
I want to talk to you about it. They got you right, kid.
Like Wes said, I shouldn't have rented the car, huh?
Yeah, he was right. You shouldn't have rented the car.
Look, fellas, I'm glad to go with you, but there's nobody to mind the store. Not until the boss comes, huh?
Was Wes with you on the job?
Yeah, he took me.
You fired the shots?
Yeah, he fired the shots.
Where is Wes?
I don't know. He did the job to get Doe to lamb town. I guess he must have lambed.
It was his gun. He had good reason. Did you know Vic?
The one that got shot?
Yeah.
No.
He was shot with the same gun. Wes's gun.
No kidding.
No kidding. You don't know where Wes went?
I told you I didn't.
You know where he lives?
Yeah, but he ain't there. I left him off to catch a train.
For where?
I told you I don't know for where.
All right, Duke. You're in a lot of trouble, you know that?
Look, I didn't have nothing to do with this killing thing.
Robbery is still plenty of trouble. You know any of Wes's friends?
Girls, you mean?
You're going to start with girls.
Oh, Wes has got 1,000,000 girls all over town.
All right, Duke. Let's hear about them. And don't skip any. We want to know about them all.
Well, this second suspect was turned over to the local authorities for prosecution on charges of robbery. The search for the final suspect went on. He was now wanted both in connection with a series of truck hijackings and for murder. Finally, after several weeks had elapsed, a warrant was filed by the United States Commissioner charging that he had fled across a state line to avoid prosecution for the crime of murder.
Special Agent McKay.
Hello, Mac. Gordon. I'm at Union Station.
What's doing there?
You said look up this Angie gal again. I did. But as I was talking to the landlady, she went out the door with a suitcase.
Oh?
I followed her to the station. She bought a ticket to Pittsburgh.
Where is she now?
On the train, waiting for it to pull out. You want me to still follow her?
She'll probably lead you right to West.
That's what I'd say.
All right, Gordon, get on the train. I'll fly to Pittsburgh and meet you. Meanwhile, I'll get hold of Pittsburgh Field Office and
Mac.
Yeah?
I'm going to have to run for the train to make it.
Go ahead, Gordon, run. I'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Wes is anxious to meet her. He sure doesn't show it.
I checked the long-distance records before I left. There was a Pittsburgh call for her. Must have been to set up a meeting here.
But you don't know for sure it was?
No, it came from a public phone.
No, she's got to meet someone. Right off the train and into a bar she goes. You don't think he suspects a trap?
Could be.
At least we're pretty sure he's in Pittsburgh.
If he suspected a trap, he'd get out as fast as he could.
Yeah. Let's get over to that table.
Sit down.
I sure hope this doesn't turn out real.
Coming through that door.
Is it him?
It's hard to make him from the picture, but
it's him.
All right, watch your step. We don't want anybody hurt.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, worried, Wes.
Well, I still got a hard time finding my way around this town.
You rushed me up from Washington. At least you could be on time.
I told you, baby, I was sorry. Did you bring the dough?
Yeah, I brought it.
All right, let's have it. I'm nearly broke.
I'll give it to you if you tell me what this is all about.
Look, give me the dough. Never mind what it's all about.
Wes, Okay.
Come on, let's grab him.
Yeah. Hurry up, will you, Angie?
Okay, Wes, on your front.
No, you don't.
Watch him.
What's this all about?
Sit where you are, Angie. Come on, Wes. On your feet.
Yeah,
Get up.
all right. What are you, Pittsburgh cops?
The special agents of the FBI.
What did it? When I phoned Angie, was that the sucker move?
Go back a little farther than that, Wes. When you shot Vic, that was the sucker move. Now go on. Out that way. You too, Angie.
All right, I'm going.
Well, Gangbusters listeners, these two men were indicted and tried for the murder of their accomplice. They were found guilty and are now serving terms of life imprisonment. Indictments charging theft from interstate commerce are still pending against them in federal court.
Thank you, Mr. Louis J. Whiteman. Now, Gangbusters Nationwide Clues. Broadcast every week as a public service to assist American police in their war against the underworld. Attention all citizens. Watch for Lloyd Reed Russell, one of the 10 most wanted men in the country. Wanted by the FBI for unlawful flight to avoid confinement for the crime of assault. Listen carefully to his official description.
Lloyd Reed Russell, age 31, 5 feet and a half inches, 147 pounds, small build, brown hair, bald on top, brown eyes, medium complexion, basic work as fireman or farmer. This man has 2 prominent scars, one 3.5-inch ragged laceration in center of forehead, and 1 3-inch cut on forehead above right eye. He also has noticeable scar on left eyebrow near nose. He has a very broad nose.
Caution, Russell is probably armed and he is considered dangerous. He has escaped from custody twice and once shot and wounded a police officer in fleeing from prison. Attention all citizens, be on the lookout for Jose Desidoro Hernandez, wanted by the FBI for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution for the crime of robbery. His official description:
Jose Desidoro Hernandez, alias Skelly, age 26, 5 feet 9 inches, 130 to 50 pounds, slender build, black hair, brown eyes, dark complexion. May seek work as a barber or plumber. This man has a cut scar on the left side of his face from temple to jawbone, and a small scar on his left wrist. He has a stooped posture.
Caution, Hernandez may be armed with a gun or knife and should be considered extremely dangerous. If you have any information concerning these fugitives, notify your local police, the nearest office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or gangbusters at once. Tonight's Gangbusters case was dramatized by Stanley Niss and directed by Leonard L. Bass, with Mandel Kramer and Edwin Bruce in leading roles. The entire production was supervised for CBS Radio by John Ives. Gaylord Avery speaking. Listen next week, same time, same CBS station, to amazing facts in The Case of the Plastered Heel on Gangbusters, a production of CBS Radio in cooperation with Phillips H. Lord. This is the CBS Radio Network.
71 years ago, October 10th, 1953, Gangbusters on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, comedy with Marie Wilson and My Friend Irma, Ronald and Benita Coleman in the Halls of Ivy, Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, and guest Gordon MacRae, The Life of Riley, starring William Bendix, and Claudia. We'll tell you more after we listen to Candy Matson, what's coming up later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 7 years of bigger and bigger enrollments, America's grade schools will need nearly 250,000 extra teachers, besides those to fill normal vacancies. This great need, plus the growing public interest in education and improvements in schools, make elementary school teaching a more rewarding career than ever, a career that high school and college students should certainly consider. Education holds America's future, perhaps your future.
Monty Masters created the series Candy Matson YUkon 28209, a female private detective. It was originally supposed to star Masters, but somebody convinced him to change. In fact, his mother-in-law convinced him to change the lead to a female, put his wife in charge as the star, Natalie Parks, and it did get an award from the San Francisco Examiner, Favorite Program Award in 1950. And to tell you, this show ran from June of 1949 to May of 1951. And, of course, the typical type of ending when you have a strong woman in a role back in that day. It seems that her police detective, Ray Mallard, which was her boyfriend, convinced Candy to leave the business. When they got married, she accepted and retired from the business. Today, of course, it would just go on, and you would you would have all sorts of conflicts there. This episode originally broadcast 75 years ago, October 10th, 1949.
Hello, YUkon 28209. Yes, this is Candy Matson.
Got an old corpse kicking around you want identified? Know of any good murders you want solved? We've got just the girl for you. Her name is Candy Matson. Mighty cute, too. She fills out a size 12 suit to just the right proportions. Soft blonde hair, 2 sparkling blue eyes, and all in all, she looks as though she might have stepped right off a Varga calendar. And what's more, she's a private eye. You scoff? You ridicule? I'll let you see for yourselves. Listen, she's talking on the phone right now.
Hello, Candy Matson.
Hello, Miss Matson. I'm afraid you don't know me.
That makes it even. You don't know me. Let's go from there.
I've read about you in the papers, Miss Matson. You handle confidential cases.
That's right. However, there's a little matter of a fee involved.
Yes, I know. I can pay.
That's item number 1. Now to item number 2. What's the confidential case?
I can't possibly tell you on the phone, Miss Matson. I said it was confidential.
Okay. Where do you want to talk?
I am the proprietor of a restaurant, the Charlemagne in North Beach.
Oh, yeah, I ate there once.
Oh, that's nice.
No, it wasn't. I didn't like the food.
Oh.
However, I'll overlook it. Do you want to talk in about an hour?
That will be fine, Miss Matson.
Good. And your name would be?
Martinello. Carlo Martinello.
Okay, Mr. Martinello. And have some ink in your pen. It costs money just to talk. I probably sounded rough and commercial, but you have to be in this racket. Most people look on a private eye as a musician. They invite you to a party and expect you to bring your harp for free. But I learned the hard way a long time ago. So now they pay in advance and take their chances later. That's the way it was with this Martinello. I was at home in my penthouse on Telegraph Hill out on the porch taking a sunbath when the phone rings and it's this Carlo character. That part was all right because I can always use new customers. But what made me mad was the fact that I had to stop listening to the 49ers belt the bejeebers out of the Cleveland Browns at Kezar Stadium. But I followed through and uncovered a couple of very done-in bodies along the way. Do you like the grotesque in your whodunits? Then follow me and we'll tiptoe lightly through the Tibbets, the Pawns, and the Baccalones, because part of the story unfolds at the Opera House. Reluctantly, I dressed into something Charlemagne-ish, turned off the 49ers Cleveland game, and went down to talk to Martinello. His place was typical, located on Powell Street, a garish neon sign, and as you walked in, the place was air-conditioned by eau de garlic.
Yes, miss. You wish a table?
I wish a table, yes. With the right party. I'm looking for the owner.
I am the owner.
I am Candy Matson.
Oh, Miss Matson. Walk this way, please.
If I could walk that way, I'd revive vaudeville.
Pardon?
Where's your office?
Right over here. Allow me. After you, Signorina.
Thank you, Signor.
Here, sit down, please.
Thanks. Now, Martinello, what's on your mind?
Always, all my life, I have run a very nice, respectable place.
Mm-hmm.
Until this morning.
What's with this morning?
I go down to the basement. My icebox is down there. That is where I keep all my meat.
So, you wanted some ground round?
Oh, no. Perhaps I'd better show you. Please, you will come with me.
Martinello led the way out of his office and down a flight of stairs. A cold blast hit my face. A musty aroma smothered my nostrils, and if I had had a phobia about darkness, I'd have ducked out then. But I followed the guy, and we ended up in front of a refrigerator about the size of an inquisition chamber. He opened the door, and it was the usual restaurant icebox, choice legs of lamb hanging from hooks, potential fillets, and thick New York cuts. The box was cold, and I started to shiver. Not from the refrigeration, though, because over in the corner was a man. He looked like something out of a long-lost Arctic expedition. He had a long, flowing mustache, every bristle of which was coated with ice. He was quite frozen and quite dead. I slammed the door shut and reeled out. The sight had staggered my thought processes. Martinello reached over by a salami slicing table and turned on a Mazda, a weak affair that cast dim shadows about the damp basement. Is that your little surprise?
Yes, Mr. Matson. That is what I was greeted with this morning.
Have you notified the police?
Oh, no.
Why not?
As I told you, I have run a very respectable place. And, too, that is why I am hiring you.
You can get in trouble, you know.
Yes, that is why you must help me. Please, Miss Matson, say you will help me. I will pay you anything you say.
I stick my neck out in the strangest places. Now it's a refrigerator. Okay, Martinello, $2,000.
What?
Make up your mind. Either I freeze your assets or the police find your frozen friend.
Yes. All right. Come. I give you the money now.
Now we're getting somewhere.
What about him?
Oh, he'll keep. He's on ice. Well, this was one for the books. Refrigeration the ugly way. I had to ask a few questions if I was to get anywhere, such as like, do you know the guy?
No.
Had you ever seen him before?
No.
Who was the last one to close the icebox last night?
I was.
Does it lock from the inside?
Unfortunately, yes.
I was getting places like Wiley was with Hauser. It was inevitable. I had to take my courage in my hand and go down and look at that thing again. There it was, a male Mona Lisa etched in ice. This time I looked closer, I had to. And as I did, I realized I wasn't going to get any identification because this guy was a study in crimson. Underneath all that coating of ice, he was dressed in a devil's costume. I slammed the door once again and went upstairs. There I gave Martinello strict orders not to do a thing. Usually in cases like this, you have to wait for a break. They come along like a forcing hand in poker. So I went home to do some thinking. As I arrived, there was an old friend of mine, Rembrandt Watson.
Hello, Dove. I'd almost given up.
Rembrandt, how did you get in?
Your door was open, dear. I took the liberty of coming in.
Oh, sure, that's okay.
How are things, Candy?
All right, I guess. I'm kind of bushed, though. I feel about as devaluated as a British pound.
You look wonderful, Dove. What's wrong?
I've got a deal, but I don't know where to start.
Anything I can help you with?
No, thanks, Rembrandt. If I told you about it, you wouldn't believe it.
I've never doubted you in the past, dear.
I know. Well, I was just called in by a minestrone merchant in North Beach. The guy is stuck with a corpse.
That's about par for the course.
The deceased had been sealed in the icebox overnight. I've never seen one like that before.
That's the way it is, dear. Many are called, but few are frozen.
Oh, get out of here.
But, Dove, I just got here.
I know, but I've got to change and get down to see Mallard.
I'll wait for you, Candy. I haven't seen the gumshoe since before me vacation.
All right. I'll be with you in a few moments. I did a fast change, and Rembrandt and I climbed into my car, and we dropped off Telegraph Hill on Don Kearney Street. The Hall of Justice, where Mallard hangs his star, is only a few blocks away, so we made it in about 5 minutes. Inspector Ray Mallard, Homicide, San Francisco Police. A lovable, shaggy dog type of character. Very keen with the crime, but dumb with the dame. Me, for instance. If I want him to say yes, he says no, and vice versa.
Well, my ever-loving Candy. What's new in the private eye business?
Very little. How's the legitimate flatfoot racket?
Oh, we're holding our arches up. Well, and Rembrandt, I haven't seen you since Pup was a Hector.
Please, Inspector, you're metting your mixer-paws.
Who writes this dialogue?
I'm pretty weak, I know. What's on your mind, Candy?
A character named Carlo Martinello. Have you got anything on him? What's so funny, Mallard?
Nothing, except I eat lunch there about every day of the week.
Well, answer my question.
Well, there's nothing on Martinello. Arrested a couple of times during Prohibition. He was dabbling in grappa a la under the table. Have yous got a case against the guy, Detective Matson?
Oh, cut it out.
No, seriously. Why do you want to check on the guy, Candy?
No reason, just thought I'd ask.
Uh-huh. Well, Martinello's okay. Just trying to make a living. Only thing I don't like, he loves to sing to his customers.
That'd be enough to bankrupt him right there.
Anything else I can do?
No, that takes care of everything.
I tell you what, I'm through in about an hour. I'll take you up to Martinello's for dinner. You can see for yourself.
No, that's all right.
Okay, Candy. Give.
Why, Mallard, dear, what on earth do you mean?
You know something about something. I want in.
Mallard, and I want you to believe this. I mean it sincerely. If I knew something, you'd be the last to know about it.
He's got something there. Come, love, leave us a while.
I hate to do things like that to Mallard. He's been of great help to me in the past. More than once he's saved my life. But on a deal like this, you have to play it close. After all, a girl has to make a living. For the first time in a long time, I was completely baffled as to where to start. Something had to be done about that cadaver in the icebox, but what? While I was beetling my eyebrows, Rembrandt invited me up to his place for tea. He lives on California Street, just down away from Old St. Mary's, and only a bail bond broker's reach from the Hall of Justice. So I accepted.
Do forgive the looks of the place, Candy, dear. I had a meeting with my philatelist group last night.
Philatelist?
The stamp collectors, dear.
Well, I know what they are, but I didn't think they could make such a mess.
You don't know philatelists. Sit down, though. Make yourself comfortable. I shan't be a moment.
That's all right.
Candy, dear, why the wrinkles?
I've got cause for wrinkles. This chap in the icebox, Rembrandt. There's something I didn't tell you. He was dressed in a devil's costume.
There, dear. Your tea will ready in just a minute. You'll feel better.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's true.
What are you going to do, Candy?
I don't know. I can't leave him in that refrigerator forever.
We'll get him out, dear. I hate to think of a corpse catching pneumonia. Oh, excuse me, Candy. Help yourself to the tea.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do, Rembrandt Watson Enterprises? Quiet down. Who? Oh, hello, Templeton. How are all your steamships? Oh, that's good. What? Could I do what? To the opera? Of course I could. Righto, I'll pick them up at your office. Thank you, Templeton. Goodbye. Candy, dear, do you like the opera?
I can take it or leave it. Why?
It suddenly develops that I have 2 tickets tomorrow night for Tales of Hoffman.
Oh, Rembrandt, I don't think I can
Come, Candy. It'll do you good. You've been working too hard. You need a little relaxation.
Tales of Hoffman, Okay. Who's the pal who gave him to you?
An old friend of mine, Templeton Woodruff. He runs a steamship to Java and other places Ezio Pinza sings about.
I finished the tea and left. Right then, the only opera I could think of was the one going on in an icebox at Martinello's. I've always tried to play straight with Ray Mallard, so I decided to tell Martinello my plan.
Miss Matson, I don't think it's such a good idea.
Good evening, Carlo. I want to talk to you.
That's what I mean. There's a gentleman here who...
So you've got a gentleman. That's fine. 3 more and you've got a crowd. What I want to talk to you about is this.
You don't understand. The gentleman I'm talking about is from the police.
The police?
Yeah. Hello, Candy.
Mallard.
How about some scallopini?
Well, up jumped the... Hello, Mallard, dear.
I had an idea you'd like dinner here tonight. Do you know my boy, Carlo?
Yes, we've met.
How do you do? The signorina wish something to eat?
No, thanks. I want to talk to you, though, Mallard.
Sure. Come on into my booth. We'll share some salami.
No, thanks. I want to see you downstairs.
I don't think the food's as good down there.
I agree, but it isn't the food. I'm talking about murder. Once again, I headed down into the catacombs of the Charlemagne. This time the act was a double. Mallard was right behind me. Then I looked around. We were a trio. Martinello was right behind Mallard. This is it.
This is what?
This is an icebox. Inside, you'll find a body dressed in a devil's costume.
Okay, Carlo, let's humor the lady. Open the thing, will you?
Yes, I'll open it.
Lovely view of the beef.
It's gone. The body's gone. Okay, Martinello, start talking and make some sense while you're doing it.
Please, Miss Matson. I don't know anything. I haven't been down here all day.
Get rid of those arched eyebrows, Martinello. You know something. What is it?
Wait a minute, Candy. I'll do the questioning. In the first place, Carlo, was there or was there not a body in here?
Well...
Sure there was. He can't deny it. Here's a check for $2,000 signed by Martinello himself.
Well, Carlo?
Yes. There was a body, all right.
Who was it? Friend of yours?
No, Inspector. I never saw him before.
Why did you call Miss Matson? Why didn't you come to see me about it?
Well, you know, Inspector, the police.
Just because you were once arrested for bootlegging, Carlo, is no reason to be afraid of the police. Well, I'll put a couple of my men on the job and see what we can turn up.
What? Is that all you're going to do, Mallard?
No. Right now, I'm going back upstairs and have some of Carlo's scallopini.
Mallard, are you out of your head?
Look, Candy, in order to have a murder case, you've got to have a body. Obviously, we're fresh out. And until your pal with the devil's costume turns up, I intend to live my typical everyday life. Don't forget the mushrooms, Carlo.
There are times when I get so mad at Mallard I want to scream. I didn't, though. I only scrammed. I hung on to the 2,000, however. I felt I deserved it just for getting my curiosity aroused, and it was aroused plenty. Corpses don't get up and walk out of iceboxes by themselves. But after all, Mallard had a point. There was nothing to be done without a body. So I went home and waded into a stack of dirty dishes that had been piling up. Then I fixed dinner and started a new stack of dirty dishes. Got a book and ducked into bed. In the morning, I had an idea. After breakfast, I went down to the corner of Broadway and Columbus. That's where North Beach does a neat blend with Chinatown. On the corner was a Joe who sold newspapers. I'd known him for some time, and he seemed to like me. Hiya, Butch.
Well, hello there, lady. How are you?
Good, can't complain. Who won the football game yesterday?
Yeah, funny thing. I got all the news right inside here for 7 cents.
I get your point. Give me a chronicle, will you?
Sure. Here.
Thanks. Who do you like in the feature at Bay Meadows?
A goat named Candy.
What did you say?
There's a pig named Candy running in the 7th. Take it or leave it.
What a tip.
I don't get it. Well, what's really on your mind, lady?
Here's a 20. You can play it on Candy all for yourself.
Well.
Do you know a gent named Martinello, Butch? He owns the Charlemagne down the block.
Sure. What about him?
That's what I'm asking you. What about him?
Oh, he's all right. A little screwy, but he keeps his nose clean.
Is that all?
Yeah. Should there be more?
I don't know. Thanks, Butch. I hope Candy pays off. I was getting nowhere, that was for sure, and the rest of the day went the same way. Dead ends, blind alleys. I checked as many loose ends as I possibly could, but I was still stuck in a quandary. But the Crusher claimed late in the afternoon when I got a copy of the late paper and read where Candy came in at Bay Meadows and paid $32.20. And I hadn't had sense enough to get aboard. When I got home, the phone was ringing. Hello, Candy Matson.
For your Candy Matson, I should play a fanfare.
Oh, hello, Rembrandt, dear. How are you?
Like an October morning. Every single one of me pores is breathing great, huge gulps of air.
What?
I just had a facial dove. Most invigorating.
What on earth for? I loved your old pores just the way they were.
Candy, you've forgotten.
I have? Forgotten what, Rembrandt?
We're going to the opera tonight.
Oh, Ducky, I'm sorry. I had forgotten. I'm afraid I'll have to renege.
Now, Candy, you promised, and I don't care what you're involved in. It'll do you good.
But, Rembrandt, I'm working on it. Perhaps you're right. Okay, I'll get ready.
Wonderful, dear. Pick me up about 7:45, will you?
Pick you up 7:45. Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, Lamb. We may have to do some entertaining afterward. Do bring some cash, will you?
Mm-hmm.
That's the girl.
That Rembrandt, always stony broke. I guess photography isn't what it's cracked up to be. I didn't mind, though. He's been a friend to me on more than one occasion. Well, if I was going to the opera, I had to start thinking in operatic terms. I fished around in the closet and came up with something that would have done any woman's heart good. One of those strapless affairs that you can't stop breathing in for one moment, otherwise the opera is no longer the main attraction. I powdered, perfumed, pouted, and rouged, and took off after Rembrandt. But just as I started to leave... Just a moment.
Well, get a load of the Duchess.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be Halloween for another couple of weeks yet.
Oh, very funny. Come on in, Millard.
What are you decked out for, Candy?
Something you wouldn't understand. I'm going to the opera.
Oh, I love the opera. Any horse opera with Tex Acuff in it.
That's what I thought. What's on your mind, Millard? I've got to pick up Rembrandt in 10 minutes.
I was just driving by, so I thought I'd stop and tell you the news.
News? About what?
We found El Diablo.
The guy in the icebox?
Yeah. Martinello identified him. He was floating in the water off Aquatic Park.
Any lead on him?
The best. He was Salavini, the second baritone with the opera company. That's all, Candy. I hope you enjoy the performance tonight.
A baritone with the opera company. Well, that explained the costume, but it didn't explain a lot of other things. I walked down the stairs with Mallard. He got in his squad car, flicked on the flashing red light, and with a burst of his siren, rolled down the street. I'd have to speak to Mallard about that. All the neighbors had their heads out of their windows as I climbed into my car and followed. What an exit. I picked up Rembrandt, and we drove up to the Civic Center. I found a place to park. A minor miracle. The last time I went to the opera, I had to drive almost to Palo Alto and come back by train. Rembrandt's friend must have been very influential. We had seats in the Diamond Horseshoe. They were presenting Tales of Hoffman, and a friend of mine, Dorothy Warrensholt, was singing the role of Antonia. It was a fine performance, and after the last curtain, I took Rembrandt. We went backstage to see Dorothy. This is her dressing room, Rembrandt.
Yes?
Hello, Dorothy. This is Candy Matson. I have a friend with me.
Oh, do come in, please, Candy. Candy, how are you?
Couldn't be better. Dorothy, may I present Mr. Watson? Rembrandt, this is Miss Warrensholt.
Delighted. You're in magnificent voice tonight, dear.
Thank you. Sit down, won't you? I've only a moment. We're rehearsing some of the scenes in Faust tonight.
Rehearsing after a full evening's performance?
It has to be done, Candy. Our baritone disappeared. We've had to replace him with a new man.
Yes, I know. By the way, Dorothy, I heard you on your Standard Hour broadcast a few weeks ago. It was a wonderful performance.
I'm glad you liked it, Candy. I always look forward to those.
What are your plans, Dorothy?
Well, the season closes here, and then we open in Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, of course.
Excuse me. Come in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had guests.
That's all right. Oh, Candy, I'd like to introduce Rolf Herberts. This is Miss Matson and Mr. Watson.
Nice to know you.
Mr. Herberts is our new baritone.
Oh, yes.
That's why we're rehearsing tonight.
I won't take any more of your time, Dorothy. I just thought we'd save a few moments of rehearsal if I told you that I don't move in that last scene. I sing upstage. That will leave you free to take as much stage as you like.
Fine, Rolf. That will save time. Thanks.
Oh, not at all. Glad to have met you, Miss Matson, Mr. Watson.
Nice to have met you, sir.
See you on stage, Dorothy.
Yes, Rolf. Rolf has a wonderful voice, and he's a good actor, too. You know, I think he'll be even better than Salavini.
I've seen him before.
Oh, yes, he's been in pictures and on the concert stage, and in opera, too, but he's never really had a good break. This might be it. Uh-oh, that's it, Candy. I'm sorry, but I'll have to leave.
Certainly, Dorothy.
Say, why don't you stand in the wings? You could watch the rehearsal if you'd like.
Oh, I'd love it.
Come on, then. Follow me. This is all right, Candy. You can stay right here.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Glad to have met you, Mr. Watson.
Also, as we used to say in the theater, go out there and kill them.
See you later.
Where is Miss Warrensholt? There you are. Herberts? Where's Herberts?
I saw him just a moment ago in the dressing room.
Well, it's late. We've got to keep moving. Please, somebody find Herberts.
From way up in the heights of the stage, the opera house was pierced with a blood-curdling scream. That was no ordinary scream. It was the scream of death. You wait here, Rembrandt. Keep your eyes open. I'm going up to have a look. That scream wasn't in the score of Faust. I punched the button for the backstage elevator. It's a good thing they work fast and are speedy. Once inside, I pressed the button for the fourth gallery. I got out. This was the top of the opera house. The place was loaded with old sets, props, papier-mâché alligators, gold goblets. Then, over on the other side of the catwalk, I saw it. The body of a man all crumpled and distorted. I hit the catwalk and ran over. It was 100 feet above the stage, and as I looked down, I could see a score of strained faces looking up through the darkness. I got on the other side and bent over the body. It was that of Rolf Herberts.
Candy, down here. I think your man just dumped down underneath the stage.
Again, I did a Mel Patton. The elevator shot me down to the stage level, and there was Rembrandt, wild-eyed.
He
He came down the elevator on the other side, Candy. Then he cut across the stage and down those steps.
Come on, Rembrandt, follow me. I may need help. We ran down the steps and into the bowels of the stage. It looked like a nightmare, a myriad of cross beams of steel for the rising stages. We cleared those and went around by the chorus dressing rooms. There was only one out. I remembered it. A door over in the corner, very seldom used, but it was open. It led into a long tunnel with giant steam pipes running overhead and to the right. This went underground over to the Veterans Building. Down by your feet, there's a stream of water flowing in a trough. It's the old Hayes Valley Creek. Our killer decidedly knew his opera house. As we entered the tunnel, I could see him up ahead running like crazy, so we took off after him. We made the other side, and it breaks into a big engine room. As we came into the opening, I looked around. The engineer was lying on the floor out like a light, blood spurting from his scalp. Then I glanced up. There was another door. This led into the Veterans Building itself and an avenue of escape onto Van Ness. I ran up. Then as we got into the long corridor, I saw Martinello breaking for the door. Stop! Stop, Martinello!
Stop! You think I am a fool?
I do if you don't stop.
Try and get me.
Okay, pal. You asked for it. It was the first time I had ever shot a man. It didn't feel good. But he lived, and later the doctors of law gave him a little pill. The cyanide kind they dropped inside the gas chamber at San Quentin. Martinello paid his debt. Details? Sure, I'll fill him in now. Martinello loved to sing. Ray Mallard had told me that. For years, Carlo had been hanging around the opera house hoping to step into a role. This season, a director had jokingly told him that if he ran out of baritones, he'd let Carlo take over. Carlo took him seriously. He lured Salavini down to his restaurant on a fake emergency call, costume and all, and did him in. But then he became frightened. That's when he called me. It was worth $2,000 to have me hush things up. But I don't operate like that. He had a hunch I was going to tip off Mallard. That's when he removed the body from the icebox and dumped him into the bay. Carlo had also been at the performance of Tales of Hoffman. That's when he learned that they'd rustled up Rolf Herbert to sing in place of Salavini. By this time, Martinello was obsessed with the idea of singing in the opera house and wouldn't stop at anything. Right after Herberts left Warrenshold's dressing room, he managed to get Herberts into the elevator and up to the fourth gallery behind the stage. That scream was produced by a 6-inch stiletto through Herbert's heart from the hands of Martinello. And that's when our chase began. I hope I never see that tunnel under the opera house again. That Mallard and his sentiments. It was he who gave me that gun just a week before, for my birthday. He said I needed protection. Well, darn it, I do. But I can't get Mallard to believe me. Instead, he just gives me guns.
Listen again at this same time next week. For excitement and adventure, just dial
Candy Matson, YUkon 28209.
Heard tonight were Harry Bechtel as Rolf Herbert, Jerry Walter as Carlo Martinello. Henry Leff plays the role of Inspector Mallard, and Jack Thomas is Rembrandt. Dorothy Warrenshold, star of the Standard Hour and the San Francisco Opera Company, was heard as herself. The program stars Natalie Masters as Candy and is written and produced by Monty Masters. With the exception of Miss Warrenshold, any resemblance to actual people in tonight's play is purely coincidental. Candy Matson comes to you from San Francisco. This is Dudley Manlove speaking. You are tuned for the stars on NBC.
A West Coast program there. Candy Matson, YUkon 28209. As it was originally broadcast 75 years ago, October 10th, 1949. Now, here's what's coming up the rest of the week. We told you that our Friday show tomorrow will be My Friend Irma, The Halls of Ivy, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, The Life of Riley and Claudia. On Saturday, Crime, The Lives of Harry Lime, an episode of suspense titled Rave Notice. This Is Your FBI and the Tropical Frame-Up. The Saint, starring Vincent Price, and another episode of Claudia. Now, Sunday comedy, of course, with Jack Benny and Stan Freberg. We'll also have People Are Funny, It Pays to Be Ignorant, and another episode of Superman. And then on Monday, we'll have Fort Laramie, Gunsmoke, couple of westerns, and then the Lux Radio Theater, Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall into Have and Have Not. And then Tuesday, we will have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. We'll have Boston Blackie, The Casebook of Gregory Hood, and another episode of Suspense, The Seeds of Disaster. Right now, though, we're going to go to Superman in just a moment.
Whenever you drive the car, there is always an unseen, unwelcome passenger with you. That passenger is danger. The danger of a traffic accident. Unfortunately, every person seems to have the absurd notion that he bears a charmed life, that no traffic accident can happen to him. But it can, and too often it does. So when you're behind that wheel, don't take chances. Obey all traffic rules. Drive safely for life, your life, and the lives of us.
Now we're going to go back 83 years, October 10th, 1941, for the next episode of the Crooked Oil Association story of Superman.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, then steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Somewhere on lonely, moonlit Mesquite Canyon Road, a motorcade of 3 tank trucks loaded with oil from the wells of Tumbleweed Jones moved slowly in the direction of the Bear River Refinery. In the lead truck, Tumbleweed is at the wheel, confident that all is well, since with Clark Kent's help, the bullet holes shot into the tanks were repaired. And now, 6,000 gallons of crude oil will reach the refinery, despite the unscrupulous efforts of Abner Cheney, head of the local bank, to force Tumbleweed to use his pipeline. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Clark Kent is on his way to the cookhouse to get a sandwich for Jimmy when... But wait. Listen.
Let's see. The cookhouse should be over here to the right. Yes, that must be it. I hope Cookie doesn't mind my foraging in his icebox. Sometimes I wonder where Jimmy puts all the food he eats. Packed away a mighty solid dinner tonight. Well, all growing boys are like that, I guess. Here we are. Hope the door's open. Wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Voice inside.
Did you get to it?
Sounds like someone's using the phone. Why isn't the light on?
Ain't got no time for flabber, lazy. Them trucks will be passing Balance and Rock in 5 minutes. Better get moving. Just make certain it looks like an accident. What's that?
It's Chuck Connors, Tumbleweed's foreman. What's he talking about?
You're right. Them trucks will be flatter than a mess of flathead. Even's out. So long. Who's there? Don't move, I got you covered.
Put up your gun, Chuck. It's me, Clark Kent. Here, I'll switch on the light.
Oh, thought you and the boy had turned in.
What's your game, Chuck?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't stall if you know what's good for you. I heard you tell somebody something's going to happen to Tumbleweed's trucks in 5 minutes.
Your ears is too big for your health, mister.
We'll discuss that later. Now, are you going to tell me what's going to happen to those trucks and where, or must I drag it out of you?
You talk mighty big for a tenderfoot. Reckon I got to take care of you. Hoist up your hand.
Not on your light.
Let go of my arm. You're tearing it off.
Drop your gun or you'll never use this arm again. Drop it and start talking. Better?
I'll talk. We can't do nothing about it anyhow. Tumbleweed's trucks will be a heap of junk in 5 minutes.
Quit stalling.
Balance and Rock.
Yes?
It's set to fall on the trucks with a dynamite charge you touched off.
What? What? I can't.
Yeah, you'll hear it. Nothing can stop her now.
Why, you... If Can't stop to get more information from him now. Time is short even for Superman. I'll just fix him so he'll be here when I get back. Use the old Western trick of pulling his coat down over his arms. Yeah, like that. And tie his legs with his kerchief. There we are. That'll hold him. Now, I hope I'm not too late. Up, up, and away!
Sure got a fine night for our first trip with these oil trucks, Clem.
Yep.
Moon's so bright, I reckon I could knock over a coyote with my bow and arrow at 50 yards.
That moon sure makes this trip might more cheerful, Tumbleweed. Barring accidents, so ought to make good time.
You reckon them wood plugs Mr. Kent said to put in them bullet holes will hold? This ain't no concrete highway, you know.
Don't worry none about that. Heard what he said about the weight of the oil holding them in.
I guess you're right, Clem. Yeah, he sure is one smart hombre, that Mr. Kent.
Yeah.
That's why I asked him to mosey on out here, because I figured if anybody could help me out of this mess with Abner Cheney, he could.
Sure thing. Reckon if he hadn't been with us and them tanks was pumped full of daylight, he'd be piping this oil to the refinery through Abner Cheney's line.
Instead of busting up his stranglehold on the local oil producers by using these here trucks. Yeah, first thing you know, they'll all be doing this. And Cheney's pipeline will rock.
Ain't Leif McCall already ordered a couple of tank trucks for hauling his oil?
Yep. Me and Leif's the only two in these parts, which wouldn't be hog-tied by Cheney. Matter of fact, it was Leif's gal, Mary, who first hit on the idea of using tank trucks.
Yeah, well, there's Balancing Rock up yonder.
Yeah?
Here's where that long downhill starts. Better shift her into low gear, I reckon, because this heavy load we're carrying is likely to push us downhill at a fast clip.
Okay. Hope the other boys follow suit. Don't want any of these trucks to get away on us.
Don't you worry none. They'll know. Leaping Mavericks. What's that?
An explosion. Sounded like it come from the cliff.
Tumbleweed. Look, Balancing Rock.
Glory be rolling down the hill straight at us.
Stop the truck and jump for your life. Come on, Tumbleweed. Jump.
Oh, look, Clem, up in the sky.
Tumbleweed is a man. Flying through the air.
Right.
But Balancing Rock, it's coming down that hill a mile a minute and heading this way.
Can't you see the man? He swooped down under it, standing right this way.
He's just standing there, waiting for it. I can't look. What happened?
He caught it, Clem. Caught a balancing rock in his bare hands like it was a ball of cotton. And he's heaving it right over our heads. Look at it, will you?
It ain't true, Tumbleweed. We've been seeing things. Going plumb local. That rock as big as a house.
Yeah, pull in your reins, Clem. Get a hold on yourself. It's all over now.
Tumbleweed. Look up. There he goes, flying off across the moon. Just like an eagle. Only it ain't no eagle.
Yeah, I see him.
Get a good look at him, Tumbleweed. Because everybody don't think I'm out of my mind when I tell about this.
I seen him, Clem. And this ain't the first time either.
You mean you've seen that flying man afore?
Yep. You remember them stories I told you about Comanche Joe's ranch and what happened there last time Mr. Kent and Jimmy was visiting out here?
Yeah.
You remember how I said I seen a strange hombre in a red cape flying through the air?
You mean?
Yes, sir, that's him. The same one come back to save lives of innocent men again. That's the fella Jimmy calls Superman. Well, let's make tracks, Clem. We gotta keep rolling.
Saved from almost certain disaster, Tumbleweed's motorcade of tank trucks continues on its way to the Bear River Refinery. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jimmy, growing tired of waiting for Kent to return with his sandwich, slips on a robe and leaves the bunkhouse to investigate the delay.
Lights on in the cookhouse, all right. I wonder what's keeping Mr. Kent. Guess he got hungry himself. I'll just sneak in quietly and surprise him. Mr. Kent, what? He's not here. Who's that tied up on the floor? Why, it's Chuck Connors.
Sure, it's me. Get me loose from this street.
Who trussed you up like this, Chuck? Where's Mr. Kent? What happened?
Hold on, son. One thing at a time. Slip this coat up off my arms first like a good boy.
Sure, Chuck. There. But where's Mr. Kent?
How should I know? Oh, my arm. Can't hardly use it. Untie my leg.
Okay. He said he was coming to the cookhouse to...
Well, he ain't been here. Will you untie my leg so I can get the kinks out of my back?
Wait a minute. How did you get tied up like this? What happened?
Well, some masked hombre busted in here and laid me out. Now, will you untie me?
Man. Gosh, maybe he got Mr. Kent, too.
Huh? Yeah, I reckon he did.
Except Mr. Kent wouldn't give up without a fight and might have heard some noise.
Well, maybe you wouldn't, maybe you wouldn't. Anyhow, don't you think we better start looking around for him?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, then untie me like a good feller and give me a hand getting up. I'm kind of cramped now.
Okay. There. Your legs are free. Now hold on to me. There. Now you're up.
Sure feels good to stand up.
Now can we go look for Mr. Kent?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Here, come along with me out the corral. We'll saddle your pony and my pinto and ride out on the road. Maybe we'll find him.
Gosh. Do you think Mr. Kent went out after the man who tied you up?
Maybe.
Well, here's the corral, and there's Soldier, my pony. Oh, will you saddle him for me, Chuck? I'm not so good at it.
Yep, I'm just as anxious to find Mr. Kent as you are. Now, you wait here till I come back with the horses. Don't move, understand?
All right, Chuck, I won't. Gosh, I don't know what's gotten into him so suddenly. He sounded real mean then. I wish I could feel sure his story about the masked man is true. I got a funny feeling that... Gee, Mr. Kent wouldn't just disappear. He would at least have yelled something. Uh-oh. Here he comes. Wait, Chuck, that isn't my pony.
Well, whatever it is.
Oh, just that I can't ride that horse. Tumbleweed said he's too wild for me. He'll throw me.
No, he won't. Not the way I'm going to fix you.
What do you mean?
Get up on him and I'll show you. Here. Step up on my hand.
I tell you, he's too big. Gosh, I'm not good enough to ride him. Hey, Chuck, what are you doing?
Just tying you on so you can't fall off, that's all.
But suppose he starts bucking. Suppose he tries to run away.
Well, you'll be tied on nice and snug like that.
Ouch.
That knot'll never slip. Now, I'm going to slap this here horse hard on the rump and send him galloping off with you into the meat.
But why, Chuck? What are you doing this for?
Because it's one way of getting even with your partner, Kent. What he done to me tonight.
What?
Till I get a chance to dose him with lead. When he gets back to the ranch, he'll find you gone. But don't you worry. Maybe the horse will bring you back in a few days. If the coyotes don't get you.
You skunk, you dirty polecat. If I was your size...
Hear that coyote yapping? Well, you'll be seeing him close up pretty soon. Here you go, yearling.
Help! Help! Mr. Kent, help!
Bound to the saddle, Jimmy cries out in terror as the wild, unbroken horse gallops into the darkness. What will be the outcome of Chuck Connor's dangerous method of revenge? Don't forget to hear the next episode of this adventure in the West. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
83 years ago, October 10th, 1941, Superman, here on this Thursday Classic Radio Theater. Comedy on Friday with My Friend Irma, The Halls of Ivy, Edgar and Charlie, The Life of Riley, and Claudia. Have yourself a great day. Have a great weekend coming up here. We'll have for you all weekend long more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.